9 West Coast, 10 to 12 on the East, girl, you better tune into it. And boy, I try to tell you this the new big movement. Sit down and catch a vibe, cause these folk foolish. That's what you can bank on, to the bank on. Talk to more mob and the rewatch gang strong. You were not tuned in to Zooming with the zoomies. I'm in Zooming with the homies on, man.
Hey, Tom.
What up, people? How y'all doing? Welcome to a special edition of Zooming with the Homies on this Thursday night. Happy New Year to those I haven't had the chance to speak to. Shout out to the Patreon, the More Mob, Scary Squad, all you guys that are out there. Shout out to the Day One Zooming with the Homies fans. Sorry, I'm just sending it. I'm sorry. I read my text here. I'm checking in on one of the comics that's supposed to be pulling up tonight. Very special edition. And I'm going to say this again when I get all the comics in here. This is not a bash anyone type of broadcast. We ain't coming in here to rip nobody to shreds. We ain't in here to talk no shit about nobody. We're here to discuss an interview that was just recently conducted. We're here to discuss the state of Black comedy. We're in here to discuss how we can uplift each other more. And we're going to give our honest opinions of things. The people that I invited on here are unbiased opinions. They have no allegiance to anyone that we're going to be talking about other than just being comrades and co-workers, if you will. This is not going to be a rumor mill, tear down, slashing, any type of shit like that. We're not doing that. That's not the purpose of this. Not that energy we're going to start with, lead with, or conduct throughout this. Right. So if you came here thinking you're going to get some tea and all that type of shit, we're not doing that. We will give our honest opinions. And I'm gonna be frank with you guys. Some of y'all might not like the honest opinions, and that's cool. That you that's fine. That's completely fine. You don't have to agree with everything, but we're gonna be honest with you guys because that's what you guys deserve. And yeah, we're gonna make it happen just like that. So we're not gonna prolong it or anything right now. We got a couple more people that are pulling up, so I'm gonna get the guys that are in here right now. Yeah, let's get it going. First up, one of my best friends out here. Me and this dude been rocking stages and rocking together for a very long time. It's my dog. Came through the trenches together. I love him. I love everything he's doing. He's just an amazing entertainer all around, and just a great friend. Ladies and gentlemen, my homeboy Clint Coley is in the building. What's up, my boy?
Yeah, what's up, yo?
What's up, cutie?
I ain't gonna say what we normally say when we see each other, man.
Yeah, no, that's
show me.
Next up, this guy is, he's just a national treasure. He's been one of my favorite comedians before he had 1 million on the gram. He's been one of my favorite comedians when he was just hosting, and I'll say just lightly, when he was hosting the Belly Room, which is the smallest room at the Comedy Store, which is one of the most iconic comedy clubs in the country, in the world, okay? He has always been unbiased, always been solid as hell, always been a straight shooter, and I think a lot of his following, most of them know that. Most of them know how real he is. Most of them know and appreciate how he always keep it fair, and he is never one to like sell something more than what it is. So that's why I felt like it was imperative to have him on this conversation as well. His camera just went off. I don't know if he's still there, but I'm gonna just bring him to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony Baker. Let's go. Tony, you hear it?
I think so. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
You are here.
See no more.
Where my camera at, man? What the hell going on, man? You young whippersnappers with your little fanciest. Hold on a second.
So here, what you
man.
sipping on, bro?
We had you. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
There it is.
Young whippersnappers, man.
Let's get it going, man. We got you in here. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, this brother I met years ago, back when I was hosting at the Comedy Union, and I'm pretty sure we had met before that as well. But he has become a very close friend of mine because he's just a real brother. He's solid. And one thing about this guy, he has always been authentically himself. He don't make no excuses about nothing. He's not afraid to get out of work. And honestly, if you've ever seen him live or on the show, you can attest that he's one of the funniest people you've ever seen in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ronnie Jordan is back in the building. Let's make some noise.
Hey,
What's up, Ronnie Jordan?
My guy.
what's up, Clint? What's up, Tony? How you doing, brother?
What's up, man?
All right, fellas, before we dive into this, I just want to, I said this before I brought y'all on, and I'm just going to reiterate this for the people that might have just signed on because we've jumped from 600 to 900. This is not going to be a bashing podcast, production, viewing, anything. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to talk about an interview that was conducted a couple of days ago, that dropped yesterday. We're here to talk about the state of Black comedy. We're here to talk about how we should and could move forward, and all the things in between. The people that I invited were intentional because they have no allegiance to anyone. So they, first of all, we're not leading with no negativity, so it shouldn't be a thing about speaking freely. But also, these are people who are going to keep it real. They kept it real with me. Every person on here, for the most part, has called my card if I was on some fucked up shit, and I felt comfortable doing the same to them. These are people that are going to hold me accountable, and regardless of who you are, they're going to give a fair and unbiased opinion. So, with that being said, let's jump into it right after I bring this next person up. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a comedian. He's a actor, director, producer. He's a writer. He's one of my best friends. I was in his wedding. He is from Detroit. He makes the city proud every day. And when I tell you consistent, like the water running in the faucet, this brother has been consistent throughout. Don't do that, Tony. Why would you do that while I'm doing the intro? Okay, you could have held that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my very great friend, my best friend, Mr. CT is dope in the building. CT, what's going on, brother?
Wow, that was amazing, brother. I appreciate that. That before Tony's interruption, that I almost shed that tear. That was crazy.
Tony tried to ruin it, bro. Tony tried to ruin it.
How are you, boys?
What's up, brother? With the professional audio, nigga.
What did you say?
I don't like that shit.
We all got professional audio. Why you don't got professional audio?
Shit. This nigga like,
you know what
come on, man.
Brother Dr. Love at night.
Clint, we got the mic that's like it got the little cover on it. CT got the radio station mic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can
Power Rangers mic.
I can go raw if I need to. I can go raw if I need to.
Well, all y'all doing Quiet Storm, DJ Hours. Okay, Tony, Tony. Me and Tony in the kitchen.
Let's set a couple ground rules real quick before we move forward, so that we're all allowing the space for everyone to retort and give their opinion and give their idea. Let's be mindful to watch the screen while we're interacting with each other. So if you see someone that's talking, maybe it looks like you're about to close and they started talking. Let's be mindful of that so we don't step over each other. Let's not all talk at the same time if possible. So that way, everyone can get their thoughts out clearly. The audience can understand where you're coming from. Also, I already let the audience know it. I'll say it again. Listen, these are the opinions of each person, each individual. Okay, I might not agree with everything CT says. Tony might not agree with everything I say. Y'all might not agree with none of this shit, and that's fine because these are our opinions, and everybody feels a certain way about something. We're not trying to convince or convert anyone watching or listening. These are our opinions, and we felt qualified to give these opinions because we are comedians in this world. We see and hear all of the stuff that's going on and off the stage, on and off interviews. So we felt validated and given our honest opinion on certain situations. We're not going to talk about everything. We're just going to talk about a little bit.
You did.
Let's open the floor with a 3-hour podcast.
Man,
what was your overall takeaway from this podcast?
I was just trying to read what that chain said. That shit bothered the shit out of me. I could not read the word going that way. Like, I read woke, but I could not read the vertical work. Did anybody get it?
No, I ain't see it.
I couldn't get it either. I couldn't get it either, but I know it looked expensive, is what I'm saying.
I love jewelry, so I'm like, let me see what the fuck. I see woke. I'm like, what?
So Ronnie says he has a nice chain.
I didn't say it was nice, but I said I couldn't read it. But it looked expensive. It was very much I could not afford it. So,
CT, the question was from the 3-hour interview. Do you have any takeaways, like any roundabout takeaways? What's your opinion of it overall?
The first thing is, man, Cedric ain't done nothing to nobody, man. In 30 years, this brother's been nothing but kind and hilarious. And today, to wake up and see everybody giving Sid this hate and all these things, I never underestimate, because as comedians, we all know that we have people that we dislike and people we don't enjoy working with. But there's another level of people like Sid, where it's like Sid has been beloved by everybody. And for this to now happen, now everybody else has something to say. And that's usually how it happens. Somebody says something wrong about somebody, and then everybody jumps on the band. Well, he stole my gas tank once. It just becomes this whole thing. And I feel like, as a fan of Sid, as somebody who's never been in the mess, now his entire career of comedy has been questioned from a stand-up point. And that's unfortunate.
Okay, I'm going to I want to make a couple notes while you talk, because I don't want to interrupt anyone while they're talking. But I do want to make a note about everybody talking once, like kind of like the blood's in the water. You kind of see like a king can be.
They dog pile. Everybody dog piles. It gets wicked out here. B.
I'll thank you for that, CT. Clint, did you have anything?
For me, and I think everybody on this panel who knows me, everybody already knows me personally. If I have a problem with a grown man, I say it to his face. I don't go on nobody's podcast. I don't go on nobody's platform, and I don't talk about them, right? And we talking about a grown man or two grown men in their 50s. You know what I'm saying? What saddens me is that this stuff is being dirty laundry is being aired out when it could have been handled behind closed doors. Everybody has had a conversation about a joke behind closed doors. Like, yo, man, I say something like this, like, yo, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, that's something that's like, like at the end of the day, especially if you're doing comedy at a high level, right? Like, we're a league, we're a fraternity, right? Like we really, like, if you in the league, if you one of us, like we ask, or we hope that you would step to each other first. And and to me, that's one of the first codes that you learn when you get to a level above an open mic, and when you get to a level where you're booking, you're doing headline shows and stuff like that. Like, we all know each other, we all got each other's phone number, and if I don't have your phone number, I damn sure can get it. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I think certain things should be handled behind closed doors, and that's what saddened me the most about this.
You could also find people, to piggyback Clint's point, comedians are the easiest people to find, especially amongst other comedians, if you really want to touch somebody. Unfortunately, to say it like that, we all can get each other's addresses within a matter of 20 minutes. We can get each other's phone numbers. It's crazy, let alone the flyers that we have, which is why it's another reason you don't want to have any beef with anybody, because we know where you're going to be.
Right.
True. That's very true. Especially if you touring regularly, niggas, all we got to do is pull your flyer up and niggas know where you are. So points were made there, Clint. I wrote a couple notes down that I definitely want to touch on, but before we do, I want to give Ronnie and Tony a chance to respond as well. Ronnie, you want to double back?
Oh, what is that? A grapefruit, Tony?
Pomegranate. Dragon fruit. That was pomegranate.
Okay. I'm trying to see how you get the action figure build.
Tony be starving himself, bro. Don't believe the hype. Tony be working his ass off. Tony is one of the most disciplined people I've met, but Tony be starving himself for 14 hours out of the day.
You give yourself a dragon fruit as a treat for the evening, Tony?
Man, you know, Roddy, you can't be serious, nigga. Like this nigga,
Ronnie got that eye surgery. He's acting real different now. You see, Ronnie used to always be on Zoom with the homies with his glasses on. He got this eye surgery, and this nigga acting brand new, guys.
Yeah, I ain't get that laser one fixed though. I just fixed I just fixed the spare tire I had a donut. I was riding on a donut and that bitch popped, so I had to get that motherfucker fixed. But yeah. Just to me, because you know, like Ricky is how I came in the game. My first writing job was for his son Brandon when he was like 12. Like rest in peace, Brandon. Like
for context, Ronnie, go ahead and say the first and last name of who you're talking about because
Ricky Smiley was one of the first people to take me, you know what I'm saying, on the road and pay me over $1,000 and give me a writing job and stuff like that.
Who did you say?
Ricky Smiley. He was one of the first people. And one of my first writing gigs was to write, help his son do a set. Brandon was doing comedy. He was like 12 or 13 or something like that. And I was charged with helping him. And he just, you know, he just died last year at this time of year. So it's just like, I know Ricky going through it right now. And I'm like, I don't think this is the time for all that. I feel like you got the part, my dog. You won. You got this goddamn part, my nigga. Like it's history. It's a great part. You got it. Why? To me, I was like, I wanted him to big up them comedians that he takes on the road a little more. Like big up Zoom Miller, who's a brilliant comedian we all know that is like one of the masterminds of this shit. And you know, it's just disappointing to see your OGs doing this because it's like you said, it's our frat. Like that shit is family house business. Y'all niggas need to call each other and hit. Like that's where I'm from. Like let's hit. What's up? Let's fight, and we'll go smile tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Or let's go roast or do something like because we already a subgenre. To me, black comedy is already a goddamn subgenre, and to be at odds of all the big niggas in the subgenre is crazy to me because it's like we already have a little slither of entertainment, and it's like I feel like that was the biggest trick of the devil to get us to compete with each other and goddamn tear each other down. Like what could have happened if all these guys got together? All those guys they named, what if they got together and did something cool? Like try to form a union or some shit that we need. You know what I'm saying? Like what happens if positive happens? You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like that energy is needed right now. Because you know I'm thinking we doing this shit for them people that be in my DM. Like, man, I was depressed and I watched your Zooms. I watched you on live, all the pandemic. Y'all got me out of this and that. You know, we get all those kind of DMs and it ain't about us at the end of the day. Comedy is never about us. It's about those people that needed to hear, you know, needed to laugh at the time. So that's where I'm at with it. And it's like these niggas is 50 and this shit is out of my pay grade anyway. So it's like, that's their business. Yeah. It's like, I hated to see the big dogs do that. It's like, God damn it, you know. And like, you did not read 3,000 books at 4 years old. You did not. Like, it's a dope story, but
we're gonna have time for that. We're gonna have time to address that in a minute.
Yeah,
Tony Baker,
nigga, Ronnie Jordan, nigga.
Tony Baker, what you got, man?
So for me, I watched the whole thing, and for me, I'm not a fan of constant slander of black entertainers, whether you in the game or not. I feel like a constant theme with Cat Williams is that he talks about other comedians in a negative way. He's done this before, and people in the comment section, they argue that, you know, Cat was just defending himself. He was just on the show responding to stuff that the other comedians had said on Shannon Sharp's podcast, so he wanted to set the record straight. And it's always a setting the record straight every time. Always a set. How many times we gonna set the record straight? And so I feel like there's something else there that, because you know, people can say, oh, people in the comment section like, oh, everything he said was true. How the fuck y'all know?
Wow.
How y'all know what was true and what? Y'all not even in comedy. Like, what are you talking about in the comment section? I get it that you're a fan of Cat Williams. We all are. He's one of the legends in the comedy game. But how are you, a regular individual from Nebraska, how do you know what's
not
true?
Nebraska?
Everything he say might not be the truth. It could be, it might not be. So for me, it's the super fans that escalate everything around this. And so it just gets annoying to watch. And then, you know, we try to speak on it, stay in your lane. This is my fucking lane.
Yeah.
I'm a stand-up comedian, 15 years in. So what else I'm gonna speak on? And comedians, we always speak on trending topics, and this is big trending. So for me,
and it's a lot of light to comedy too. It's like, come on, but let's take the ball and run with it.
So for me, it's just like, here we go again. Here we go again. And I feel like white comedians don't be doing this shit. So
I said the same
they
thing.
But they don't do it on down air out online. They don't. Joe Rogan
don't do it on Joe Rogan.
But you know that was like one famous thing.
But that was Joe Rogan against Carlos Mencia. Yeah. What's been the white beef since?
Right.
And that was a decade ago.
To your point, when it comes to fans,
it's every other podcast.
To your point, when it comes to fans are always going to side with who they like more or who they think is funnier. So as soon as, you know, that brother said those names, everybody who wasn't a fan of these people were like, yeah, Cat Benton, that's what I'm talking about. Can't say that. I ain't never thought such and such was funny anyway. And I always hated that conversation of who's the funniest, because funny is subjective. Like somebody could say Robin Williams was funnier than Jim Carrey, or Eddie was funnier than any. Well, these are facts, but Eddie was the funniest ever. But those types of things, you always side with who you like more. And I'm so glad that you said what you just said, Tony, is how the fuck do you know? Because you don't know shit.
You don't.
You thought the slap with Will and Chris was a sketch.
You don't. And this. People show their hand in the comment section when they be like, ain't nobody even talk about nothing. They'll just come out their mouth and say, Kevin Hart ain't even that funny. Well, nobody even.
What he got to do with this?
Why? What he got to do with? You know what I'm saying? They're just gonna bring it up anyway. So once you're leading with your fandom, then you lose credibility in any type of argument. So it's just like, we get it.
And it's like these brothers all have staffs of people that they employ. Like, to be a black man and pay people all the time is a feat by itself. And to do it consistently for 20 years plus, each of these guys, it's like, nigga, we have to all be unicorns for real. Like all of it, everybody on this Zoom right now, every bill is paid out of your brain. How you fucking feel that day, how you thinking. We all pay our bills with joke money. Like that shit we have to be in a certain level, a certain mood. Even from the lowest level to the highest level comedians, like, bro, we are fucking unicorns. To see some unicorns fighting is goofy to me.
You know,
and also I want to make a comment real quick, Clint. And I want you to go on, but I'm gonna start posing some of the questions too. T Rose said to hear where your mods. Listen, guys, I'm not already Hippie's in here. She's going to be highlighting questions. I am not enforcing her regular routine of getting people out and acting wild. I ain't trying to do that type of symposium right now. People are going to be allowed to voice their opinions in the comments. If you not fucking with this, you ain't fucking with it. That's cool.
I'm glad I can't see
you're
the
not
comments.
fucking with it. Just leave, okay? Because these are going to be our opinions again. You might not agree with it. You might agree with it. But if you really not fucking with it, you can just leave. So I don't want to ban anyone right now because everybody deserves to be able to get their shit out. But if you get disrespectful with it, then obviously you will be removed. But I just wanted to let that be known. Clint, I want you to be able to get your thing out, but at the same time, I want to address the said thing, right? Mm-hmm. Now, Cat Williams did a joke on Comic View, where he just said, you know, the car, and then Kings of Comedy comes out, and it's like a spaceship. Very similar joke. All the components were there. And CT, I get it. Like, I'm a sad friend. I'm from St. Louis. Some people might feel a type of way about me bringing this up, but it has already been stated. And this is how also something that has been addressed previously. This isn't the first time Cat has made this allegation against Sad, right? And even in the interviews, Cat said that he gave Sad a pass when Steve Harvey came to him about this whole situation. So we all know as comedians, this has been a thing in comedy. This has been a thing since the beginning of time. It ain't just comedy. Like, you know, they say that Nikola Tesla stole the
Edison stole from Tesla.
Yeah, Edison stole from Tesla. So this is nothing new. How do you guys feel about? How do you guys feel about the way he handled it. Because if he already gave him a pass for it, he said he gave him a pass 10 years after Kings of Comedy came out. If he gave him a pass about it already, why still bring it up?
Likes,
I think he was
clicks.
selling the fight. I think he was selling the fight like I'm already going in, so let me goddamn mash the gas and get this. Because my arena was sold out, but I think he was selling the fight. I think he was turning up. He was getting some good cognac, and the podcast is the worst shit that happened to the black community. Nigga. Everybody going to jail because of these motherfuckers. Every rapper come on this motherfucker, tell everything he did, tell every crime. You put a mic in front of a nigga, he can get anything you want. Nigga want to tell their girl shit, but give a mic.
I mean, what I was going to say.
Before you go, let me just introduce comedian extraordinaire, amazing mother, grandmother, birthday party thrower. If there's a way to hustle in the city, she gonna figure it out and she gonna get that goddamn bag. This is one of my newest but closest friends, and she ain't been shit but solid as mass since I met her. Ladies and gentlemen, from Chicago, Corey Bell. Makes a noise.
I love y'all. I tried to put on my hat and take my lashes off so I can blend in with the fellas. So I fucks with all of y'all. Hey y'all. I'm gonna listen in and jump in when it's my turn. But y'all go forth, brothers. Go forth.
Came on stage said we need podcasts, Ronnie. I understand we need podcasts, but we don't need every rapper to go off with a nigga shooting a Percocet. You want Percocet?
I agree. Clint, I'm sorry to interrupt you, brother. Go ahead, do your thing.
No worries, man. I think that when you just to go back to your question, when you said, why bring it up 10 years later or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, like likes, clicks, and views is a hell of a fucking drug. That's really what it is, yo. Like likes, clicks, and views. People out here are doing anything for likes, clicks, and views. And here we are talking about Cat Williams and everything like that. It's a number one trended topic, and that's just really what it comes down to, right? Like a lot of times people want your podcast to get set off, you want this to get set off, and it's like, yo, likes, clicks, and views. And let's be honest too, ain't Cat Williams about to do a tour? I mean, let's be real, yo, and also people a lot of times now, look, granted, Cat Williams is a funny dude, people love Cat Williams, but also, right? This is Kanye-esque type of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what you want. You want the controversy because people are going to come to the shows. I literally see people post their ticket saying, yo, I got to go see this now. You're not going to see the craft. You're going to see mess. You're going to see a meltdown. You're going to see bullshit. And at the end of the day, what's the name of the game? Putting asses in fucking seats. And let's be honest, all of us on here got agents. All of us on here, at the end of the day, you got to put asses in seats. That's the one thing that they stress to you over and over and over and over again. And in my opinion, yeah, it's about likes, it's about clicks, it's about views. So if he gave him a pass 10 years ago, but he wants to bring it up on the podcast, that's what it is to me. It's attention.
Hey, let me clear the air. You guys have agents. I'm just out here freeballing.
Oh, come on.
Just so we know.
Oh, man.
Corey, your agent is coming this year. I'm going to speak that into existence because you are too much of a national treasure to not be known by the nation. I do want to point out, I do not watch every episode of Shannon's Shay Shay Club Shay Shay. So I was not aware that Cedric had brought it up, but a couple people in the comments have posted that he brought it up in his interview and that Cat was just responding to it. So based off of that, I completely understand.
Cat, you got the right to respond. You got the right to say
he got the result. He does. Yes, he does.
Yeah, the same way he did with Ricky Smiley. So I see you guys, I hear you guys, and I appreciate you guys enlightening me on that because I did not know that information. So thank you guys.
I didn't either.
But y'all think he could run the subpar 4.340?
Okay, let's cut the shit.
Come on, man. Come on,
man.
And blow his whole body, the bottom half of his body out.
I think he fast because I'm a double-digit 40 nigga myself. But other than I gotta believe any fast stat that skinny niggas give me, I be like,
that nigga ran that and it ain't on record. See, here's the problem that I had. A lot of the unbelievable shit he said. Where's the receipt? If you were accepted into a university at the age
of 7,
that makes the headlines. Now, a nigga that's reading 3,000 books a year, that's 8 books a day. Now, if you were reading CJ and Run, okay, I got you on 8 books a day. But this nigga said he was reading nonfiction, 3,000 nonfiction books at the age of 10. Sir?
Age of 4.
Sir?
At age of 4.
Yeah, he was fluent in 3 different languages.
Mm.
So for me,
Here's the thing.
you gotta.
It's hard for me to doubt Jehovah's Witnesses because Prince was a Jehovah's Witness, and Prince could play 846 instruments. Okay,
I'm not
Prince
saying
had more songs. Prince had
had
more songs in his backlog catalog than he had albums out, and Prince had 436 albums out.
But let me tell you the difference. To hear if a nigga is an amazing singer, at some point you gonna hit this nigga.
I hate when the connection go out and you got a fire ass punchline.
Yeah,
crazy. Fire, but it broke up a little bit.
She just frozen. Look at the freeze frame though.
It's very frozen. So one question that I had, and I was talking to one of my good friends about this today, is we don't have our African history. We don't have our traditions. We don't have our religion. We were brought here forced to adjust and accept a Christian and pagan lifestyle. I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, I feel like the artistry of the Black and Famous is what we have a responsibility to protect, right? Whether it's acting, whether it's poetry, whether it's plays, whether it's comedy, we have a responsibility to protect that because we've been stripped of everything else. And I feel like sometimes an interview like this, because I always think of every show, every interview, like this might be the last thing that I ever do. If I leave out of here and get in a bad car accident, this will be the last thing that people see from me. So I always give it 100%. I always try to lead with love. I always try to make sure I put my best foot forward. From this interview, if something were to happen, knock on wood, to Cat, would this taint his legacy? Would this cement him as being a bitter comedian? Would this cement him as being someone that was just messy and likes to start shit and not a team player and looked at every opportunity to down his fellow comedians? Because initially when I made the announcement that I was going to do this earlier, a couple hours ago, I hadn't watched the whole thing. When I watched the second half of it, I realized he did a lot of positivity, he did a lot of talk, but the first hour 15, hour 20, it just had such a heavy negative connotation. Do you think, based off of that, that could affect his legacy? I see Kev said he don't think so. Tony, I want to get your opinion on this because you haven't been able to say a lot.
This will absolutely not taint his legacy because Cat has always been doing this. This ain't nothing new. So, Cat is going to be Cat. If anything, it's going to further elevate his legacy. If he was to die like right after this, people would be like, yo, he spoke his mind. He kept it real. He didn't sugarcoat. He didn't care about, he wasn't scared of anything. He was fearless, and we need more of this. And so, and this is who Cat has always been. So it would definitely not hurt his legacy. Some people see him as bitter, but that's just what it is. Some people see him bitter. Some people see him as honest and fearless. So, when you die, everything is heightened. So the people that are riding for him now will ride even harder if he was to, God forbid, pass away and that was his last piece of interview or whatever. So it definitely wouldn't hurt his legacy at all. In my opinion.
CT, what about you? What do you think?
I was about to say that. But what I will also add is Corey, just because we have agents don't mean that they're amazing. So a lot of times whenever you're looking for something
turn that song up
that other people may have, you might just want to be specific in the things that you want. As opposed to the agent, you want somebody that is in love with your talent and believes in you to the point where they want to help you get to the next level. Just having an agent, anybody, I've had several agents and managers, and if they're not high on you, none of that matters. As far as Cat, I never speak negatively about other comedians. So what I will say, and publicly, because in private, you're supposed to have those conversations. But I will say that his legacy will continue to be intact. He is hilarious. He has helped so many comedians. I feel as though, if anything that hurts the comedy community, it's this list of comedians that we continue to make. Who's the funniest comedian of this year? Hey, audience who really doesn't know anything about comedy realistically, who do y'all think are the funniest?
They don't even go to shows.
Say it again.
They don't even go to shows. The people commenting on the shit. A lot of them don't.
Exactly. They don't go to comedy shows. They, their history is just on who's been pushed to them. But I don't fault anybody for that. My faulting are the situations where comedians continue to be pitted against each other. Like, hey, who y'all think is the funniest? And it's like, oh, the only comedian that I follow, I think is the funniest. And that's how that thing goes.
I think that you personally, obviously, we all know that you have to be fearless way before you can be funny. That's one thing that we know that separates a lot of joke tellers from comedians. You got to be fearless before you can be funny. For me, I thought that when it comes to Cat, when you have somebody, like he said, that's been blackballed or called crazy or said was on drugs and this, that, and the other, and you've hit the bottom and you know what that feels like, and you're funding your own shit, you don't really have much to lose. There's a sense of freedom and liberty that Cat has that a lot of niggas don't have, because he's not relying on a lot of people to open that gate for him. Why you smiling, Ronnie Jordan?
Kev on stage is ripping the comment section. He is doing a special.
Is he doing a special in the comments?
That shit funny as that nigga said he mad because he didn't make the fine comedians list. He been mad at the
But I just think that because of the fact that he is fearless, because of the fact that he is funny, he said in the middle of that interview, he said, I'm one of the richest men in the world because everything that I want, I have. And if I don't have it, it's not because I can't get it, it's because I don't want it. And because I wake up with that freedom and that liberty every day to be able to do what I want to do, I'm one of the richest niggas in the world. And that's a goal for a lot of people, but also to be able to put people in position, to do what they want to do. He do put a lot of people in position. I just think that he's genius. If you put Kanye West and Orlando Baxter and they had a baby, it would be Cat Williams.
Thank y'all for that real quick. I want to point out a couple things and then pose another question real quick. This person, because I don't want to say their name wrong, said we're the consumers. You guys absolutely are the consumers. You absolutely are the consumers, and you absolutely matter as consumers. Again, the point that we're coming at it from is these are our coworkers. You guys see a little bit of what's going on. You would never see the whole picture. We would never lift the whole veil so you guys see everything that's going on. And also, you guys don't know the shit that we have to do to make it to Cat's level, to Steve Harvey's level, to Cedric the Entertainer's level. You have no idea of the sacrifices we make it financially, the sacrifices we make missing important events on family members, the sacrifices we make moving and traveling and missing these events. It is completely different as comics. And when you are in this fraternity, you understand that. So a lot of us are looking at it like, man, bro, it took all of that to get there, and then y'all beefing. So it hits us just a little bit different than it hits you guys, right? Because you guys are the consumers. We are consumers of it as well, but we're also the workers, and we recognize how that hits differently.
Let me jump on your point real quick to amend the point that I made is not to ever give across that the audience doesn't matter, because you do. Obviously, there is no us without you at all. My point isn't saying something, as I'll give an example. How many times have we done Zooming with the homies and Tahir has said, yo, I'm trying to do this show, I'm trying to do this tour, and tickets ain't being bought, people ain't seeing the links or people aren't coming, but a lot of audiences will be the first people to say, "Oh, Kevin coming to town. I'm about to get these tickets." I'm not, Kevin on stage as well, but I'm talking about like Kevin Hart, or they'll see Cat going out and they'll get these tickets. So what I'm saying is, by you guys not having the complete knowledge of comedy, is because you're only going to support who you know about. And if you know the person and you can't reach them, you're going to get the tickets. You're more apt to go get Kevin Hart tickets for $300 or $400 than if you see Clint Coley coming to your city for $25, and you might be like, "Oh, I'll catch him because I got to work that night." But if Kevin coming to town, Kevin Hart is there, you're like, "Oh man, let me call off so I can get to the show." That's what I'm saying. The difference in how consumers consume is it's prejudice in a lot of ways. And yes, you support who you like, but at the same time, if we're the people that are responding to you and telling you after you've said, "Yo, I just want to say I appreciate your comedy. Thank you for helping me get through some dark times," and we've been like, "Yo, thank you for helping me get through some dark times," why do we get the excuse for you not coming to the shows, whereas you've never been able to even touch the hem of the garment on one of these superstar celebrity comedians, but those are the people that you will call off work for, is my point that I'm trying to make.
CT, you playing my jams tonight, bro. You are you playing my jams, dog.
Hey, this nigga Clint so
he got that little man Catch. He got that top on. That nigga had the Boys in Hood.
When CT was talking earlier, Clint was like, "Turn that shit up, man. That's my jam."
You got listen, man. You got no skips on this album so far, CT.
let me say this, because I just to piggyback out there, and before I go to the next thing, CT is absolutely correct. And I understand that the way our society works is the bigger the person, the more people are apt to hop on that bandwagon and come see them. But on this live alone, you have 6 people who are potentially the next Tiffany Haddish, the next Kevin Hart, the next Eddie Murphy, the next whoever, Jim Carrey, it doesn't matter. But we can't access that level of success without your belief, without your trust, without your confidence to give us a try. Sure, when we get to the level of I'm in a movie, I'm on a show, that's great, that's fantastic. It makes it easier for us. We don't have to promote as much. But when we're at this level, we're working at our finest. It's like that rapper that's next to Blow, right? That's next up, and you know he got it in him. We are working our hardest because we're trying to get to that level. This is the funniest that we probably have ever been in our lives. I remember when Tony didn't have 1 million on IG. I remember when this nigga was just Tony Baker
passing out them fucking promo cards.
Yeah, and he was still one of the funniest people. But it wasn't until he got 1 million on the gram that he started selling out on shows. And I get it. The audience reach makes a difference, but I promise you, give that local comic in your town a try. Give that randomly, instead of going to the movies, why not go to the comedy club? Invest in money in live entertainment, because we have no safety net. We have no union. We have no insurance. We have no life insurance. We only make money when you come to the show, and we definitely need you. Now, that was just a soapbox thing, just to piggyback on that. What I want to ask you is, it is inevitable that you are not like everyone that you come across in this game as a comedian. You're going to bump heads. You're going to have disagreements. You're going to have falling outs. People don't know. I think CT knows. CT might be the only person on this platform that knows out of all of my friends and comedians. Me and Clint fell out bad. We fell out bad. I'm talking about for months. There were deaths of our family members that neither one of us contacted each other during that. We fell out bad, hard. And you never heard about it. You never saw any inkling in it. You didn't see a chink in the armor. You didn't see any of that. Because I feel like most of the people that I rock with in my class, we have an understanding that this is our business. Black men, black women first, comedians second. This don't need to be anything else. I don't want asses in the seats of my shows thinking I'm going to talk shit about this or that comedian. That's not what I'm doing this for. And when the time was right, me and Clint had a conversation. We squashed it, and now it's all love. We back rocking. I got a computer here right now that I'm DJing with that Clint gave me. Just gave me. because that's my brother. We didn't put it public. We didn't make a big scene about it. Neither one of us was beefing on IG. None of that shit. And we fell out bad. I say that to say, I feel like it's a time and a place to do anything. Just like CT said, if you really want to see somebody, you can go to their calendar and you can pull up on them if it was that serious about it. But also with us being grown, also with us being limited in numbers and scarcity, no, limited in numbers. I'm just leaving it at that. Shut up. Everybody shut up. Everybody shut up. Everybody shut up.
That word.
Let's just go back. With us being limited in numbers and the resources that we have when it comes to support from the clubs, why not handle that type of shit privately? What do you and hear me out when I say this? I understand that sometimes you just have to be human. And the way that Cat aired it out might have just been his human side. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of motherfuckers acting like I ain't the greatest, whatever, boom, boom, boom. I completely get that visceral feeling. You just got to get that shit out as a human. But how do you guys look at what's the right way to do that? I want to hear from Corey first, because I definitely want to get a lady's perspective of it, and then Clint, and then I would love if Tony or someone else jumps in too.
I think one of the things, so I had a meeting. Well, it wasn't really a meeting. Me and a bunch of the lady comics got together and had lunch yesterday. Me, Erica Clark, Just Niche, Mo Good. Like a lot of us got together just to kind of fellowship. And shout out real quick, just as a side note, Tony Baker, they all raved about working with you and how kind you are. Some shit happened in Milwaukee and you just that guy. So, but anyway, I think one of the things that we were talking about was like, we always hear that female comics don't get along. Like we don't get along. We always beefing this, that, and the other. And the truth of the matter is, because it's so few of us, we all kind of keep close together and we watch male comics be Carl Thomas Maxwell emotional over and over and over again. And it's like, don't try to put that on us. Like, we're watching you guys. And I absolutely believe that there's a time and a place, because I don't want to, the hardest part for me about all of this is watching the people that I idolize fight and bicker and have a bunch of bullshit going on, when I'm like, these are the niggas that I'm chasing them. I'm mimicking them. I'm admiring them. Like, this is not the part of the game that I want to learn. So if I'm learning anything, it's like you just said with you and Clint, we got to keep that shit under wraps, because what ends up happening is you got 8 million motherfuckers who know absolutely nothing about nothing, get emotional, not be logical, and take sides because this is your favorite and this is your favorite. There's no fact in it. It's all emotion. So I personally learned that. And again, I sit under somebody and I study under somebody who's emotional. You know what I'm saying? So I understand. And I was like, man, if we don't take nothing else from this, we need to take, number one, keep your shit in house. Mm-hmm. Keep your shit in house, because the people that we expose this shit to have no idea about how this shit work. They have. So when we all kiss and make up in 3 months, what's going to happen with that audience that was divided? What's going to happen with the comics that are the newer ones? I don't call them the low man on the totem pole, but what's going to happen with the comics that are still growing? What's going to happen now that they done divided and took sides? Because now we done squashed this shit. So we've just got to do a better job of setting that example. But I agree to hear, it may have been a human moment, but what I'm looking at Cat Williams, that nigga is Cat Williams 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, my nigga.
That's true. Clint, what you got for us, bro?
Here's what I'm gonna say. First of all, yes, Tahir and I did fall out back in 2020, right around when the pandemic started. And
what happened, girl? Y'all ain't tell no teeth.
And listen, ain't nobody ever gonna know.
It's not nobody business. But I'll just say this.
Y'all got real mics, nigga.
I'll say this though. I called Tahir personally. I aired out exactly how I felt. I didn't do it in the right manner, and I will admit to that. And things got heated over the phone, and we just was like, you know what, man, fuck you. That's it. We don't need to talk for whatever. You know what I'm saying? I say that though because Over that time, though, I've had time to heal as a grown-up. I went to therapy. You know, I'm bipolar, you know what I'm saying? And I took the major step that I needed to take, which was take meds and get on meds and do what the fuck I needed to do so that I don't do that to my friends anymore. And that's the fucking problem, right? A lot of us comedians, let's be real, yo, we ain't fucking right in the head. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us aren't right in the head. A lot of us got moments and times where we don't want to be here no more. A lot of us have moments and times where we've been going through so much and we let it out on the wrong person at the wrong time, in the wrong place, in the wrong situations. And guess what? Nobody holds bad behavior fucking accountable, yo.
Come on.
And at the end of the day, yo, like I got friends and family and people in my life, other comedians who say, yo, Clint, I get it, man. You Philly nigga, blah, blah, blah. You get down to lay down running niggas' hats. But at the end of the day, bro, that's not gonna get you to the next level. Being angry all the time is not gonna get you to the next level. Being hard all the time is not gonna get you to the next level. So I say all that to say is like I really want comedians to seek help, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, get yourselves right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, to the audience that's watching and listening, y'all have no idea how many motherfuckers have undiagnosed mental health issues and we don't fucking talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying who has mental health issues, who doesn't have mental health issues, but I'm open and honest about mine. A nigga is bipolar. A nigga decided to get on meds. A nigga, that was the best decision I've ever made in my fucking life because I'm calm, I'm even tone. And now at the end of the day, when something happens, like I got a problem with a comedian right now that I've been friends with for a long time. We don't speak, right? But at the end of the day, again, that's not y'all business. And at the end of the day, he didn't disrespect me and I didn't disrespect him. It's always like, yo, at the end of the day, you could do something I don't like and I could do something you don't like. And it could just be that. We all have these moments. Me and, you know, see, I'm pretty sure I've done shit CT don't like. I'm pretty like we're human beings. But the main thing I guess I want to get across is, man, a lot of us motherfuckers ain't well, and a lot of motherfuckers definitely need therapy, and they legit need help. They need help, and a lot of y'all not getting the help that you need. Bottom line.
Real quick, I just want to remind you guys that you know, we BetterHelp is not sponsoring this particular broadcast, but if you need BetterHelp. And this ain't like, again, they not paying me for this at all, guys. And I'm only bringing this up because Clint made some great points. I am tremendously better at communicating, effectively showing emotion to my wife and my daughter because of therapy. I ain't getting paid for this. And I really don't care who your therapist is. I just want people in therapy in general, especially Black men. So I'm just going to say this. If you want to check out therapy, you can go to BetterHelp.com/DIYS. That /DIYS will give you 10% off your first month. That ain't, I don't care if you do it with them or you do it with somebody else. Black men just need to get in therapy. We need to know it's okay to be angry and it's okay to talk about why you're angry. We are taught as male when we are growing up, when you fall as a kid, I'm like, get up, you're a big boy. What you crying for? You know, we're taught and conditioned to not express our emotion from child age. And you go through your whole life suppressing that emotion, suppressing those feelings, not being able to talk about it. And I feel like that's why when niggas go to the club, somebody step on their foot, the first thing they want to do is fight because they haven't learned how to express how upset that made them. I encourage all men, especially Black men, to check out therapy. And again, BetterHelp.com/DIYS. I don't, they're not paying for this. This is just so Black men will have an option, or anybody will have an option to get therapy if you want it.
And real quick, to Ronnie's point, podcast ain't therapy. All right. Podcast is not therapy. Just want to throw that out there. Ronnie, you know, I know you niggas don't need them. And that's not therapy. That's
no. Podcast is dope. That's one of the things that's sustained in my career right now. Like talking every week to an audience, that shit helps you become, you know, people find you.
It's not therapy, nigga. Like you.
I'm saying it's not therapy. What I'm saying is niggas go in there and just be snitching on the wrong shit. And also, I went to therapy, and my therapist wanted to be a goddamn comedian. This bitch asked me what open mic and shit at. I'm like, bro, I want to talk about my dad.
You can take a therapist for free on BetterHelp. So just know that. Also take that with you. CT, I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
For your example, Clint, you've never done anything wrong to me. I'll tell you exactly who I am as a person and as a man. If I ever have a problem with anybody, I pick that phone up and I call them, unless I run into them in person. I am the furthest thing from a bitch ever. Huh?
I can confirm that on a couple different occasions, and vice versa. And vice versa.
You know you ain't no bitch. You in here dressed like Action Jackson, goddamn.
and CT, I just use you as an example. I know we ain't never had no issues, but yeah, anybody know me? I'm the running your hat nigga for sure. For sure.
Boy. Woo.
Hey man,
it's on this motherfucker, boy. I don't feel tough enough, goddamn. I'm like y'all niggas, boy. Y'all niggas some dogs in this motherfucker. I fuck with y'all, goddamn. That what's up.
CT, did you have something else or about the how to air out grievances?
Yeah, the best way to air out grievances, bro, is honest. And here's the thing: the issue is this, and this is what I learned by moving to LA. It wasn't. I can't just say it's an LA thing as far as like Hollywood, not LA the city. Yes. But coming from Detroit and coming out here, I was used to, like I just said, you pick up the phone and you call somebody or you talk to them in person. And you say, "Hey, here's my issue." In the Hollywood comedy scene, and I'm sure amongst people in life, a lot of men don't speak their true feelings. They beat around the bush, or they are passive aggressive, and they won't tell you what their problem is. And as all of you guys know about me by now, I'm like, hey man, if you don't fuck with me, please say you don't fuck with me, so I never get it misconstrued. And that's how I live my life. And a lot of people don't do that. So that's always a hard thing to deal with when you do come to somebody and try to air out a grievance. But I will say, if you've had a conversation with somebody and you both forgiven each other, and then you're continuously saying in public against that apology or agreement, then it's like, hey man, apparently I'm not getting through to this brother one-on-one. Let me say this so the world can hear. So I do get that as well to a certain extent.
Yeah, CT, where can I get your album at, CT? Where can I get this album? Where can I get this album? Can I put this album on my wall? I need this album, man. This is
called Braids and Tank Tops. I like
this is CT the anthology, nigga. Like
the anthology.
That was called Tank Tops and Quiet Thoughts.
Tony, you've been quiet, man, but you took yourself off of mute. I feel like you got something. What you got, Tone?
I was just waiting my turn. I feel like this. Okay, so everybody's grown. Everybody got sense. Everybody know how to conduct themselves. So what I feel like when you have a grievance with someone, some people would prefer to air it out publicly over addressing somebody with the one-on-one. Some comedians are more comfortable talking to a large audience, even though it's a podcast and you might be interviewing one or two people. You still know damn well you talking to a whole audience. And some people thrive in that. They'd be like, nah, I'm gonna talk about it here. And so what that does is creates an atmosphere where now the masses are involved in the bullshittery, and then they won't let that bullshittery die henceforth. They always gonna bring up some old shit that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You can post something about, yeah, man, I'm at my son's college graduation. I'm so proud of him. Somebody in the comment section, well, what about that joke you stole? It's just like, yo, we can't move on from this. So you got to be real careful about how you're airing out your grievances. And like, if you reach a patch where you tried to talk to somebody on the one-on-one and they always stiff-armed you, they never gave you that opportunity, they never wanted to talk to you one-on-one, then you're forced to talk about it publicly. And that's how you feel like you're getting your shit off, because it's like, all right, if you're not going to listen to me one-on-one, I have to get this off my chest. And if I say it on this podcast or on this platform, I know you're going to hear what I got to say. And so I feel like maybe Cat was in that bag when he just addresses, his grievances with Cedric or Ricky Smiley or Faison Love, Kevin Hart. He's always shooting at Kevin Hart, though. He's been shooting at Kevin Hart for like 87, 50, 11 interviews now.
Because he let a freshman take his spot.
He be shooting at Tiffany a lot, too. So it's just like, all right.
Wait a second, Tony. Wait a second. Cut that shit out, man.
What I say?
Yeah, we can't just skip over that. We all heard it.
What do you say? I miss it.
We'll have that conversation when we get off alive. We'll just have.
What was said, man?
Comedian privy is a comedian privy conversation that we'll have.
No, I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. No, Tony, you said that he's been shooting at Kevin for years. He said, I don't know what you said. I don't know why he keeps shooting at Kevin, and I said because he let a freshman take his spot.
Oh, gotcha.
And it was very funny and timed well.
Yeah, so a lot of times either people don't wanna have that one-on-one, or they tried to have the one-on-one, and then it's like, yo, if you satellize my name in public, I'm gonna satellize your name in public on the get back. So that's how we end up in those type of situations. But so that's what I think is going on with Cat. But Cat's always been talking about comedians in his interviews. So
yeah,
you know what I mean? And for me, like, you know, people automatically assume. So I did a post last night about, you know, January 3rd is my son's birthday that passed away. So that's always a tough day for me ever since. And so even though I was going through that, I still watched the whole interview, and I just tapped in. I was like, man. So I posted, I was like, yo, Cat Williams just threw 50-11 comedians on the grill, and I was just like, Black unity and Black stick together or whatever. So people in the comment section got in their feelings. You picking sides. Why you gotta say that? He telling the truth though. So it was a food fight in my comment section. Well, all I was saying was he threw mad cats on the grill. They all Black. And here we are again with the bullshittery, slandering other Black entertainers' names. Regardless on whether Cedric stole a joke, whether Steve did this, regardless, this is what we do as Black people. We tear each other down, whether there's truth to it or not. It's like it's a cycle that keeps continuing, and you know, and then on the back end of it is just like, well, you know, God has me, and like, you know, I'm rich in life, and then you're gonna be spiritual and enlightening on one end, and on the other end, it's just like, let me tear everything down that's going on. Let me give fuel to the fire of people that already, when Black folks get successful, like Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, or whatever, we always got to tear them down. We always looking for a way. We always looking for like, all right, let's tear this nigga down. Kevin cheats. He's not that funny. He's an industry plant. It's like, can we win and be successful without the bullshit? Because we already gonna get torn down by white folks. Look at Jonathan Majors. One false move, one tussle with the cell phone with a white woman, this nigga loses everything.
Your Uber Eats is ready.
We already
real quick.
All right, I'm done.
I have to leave. But yo, it's not my food, it's my meeting. I will say, Tony, you hit everything that I completely agree with. We continue to tear each other down. And to answer your question, can we not tear each other down? No, it's impossible. It's not going to ever happen. The community will always find a reason to help build us up. And somebody's going to say something to tear us down. Oh, he ain't even that funny. I never laughed at this person. Or I didn't even like that movie. I didn't like that TV show. What about this person getting that opportunity? I want to see such and such on top. That's just how it goes, unfortunately. And that's why you have to be stronger emotionally and have the support system around you to remind you that none of this stuff is real, and all of these things can change at the drop of a dime, and to make enough money to where you can invest in something and provide for your family outside of it. I will see you, good brothers and sisters, later. Thank you so much for having me to here. God damn it. All right. All right.
Thank you for the TED Talk. That was
Listen, we're not gonna be this shit in 3 days, though. That's the funny part about it all. This shit gonna be gone in 3 days.
I agree.
Tiana gonna do something, or Sexy Red gonna do some shit. Like somebody gonna do something.
No, he's right.
Bring that little baby back over to Blueface house, and it's gonna be. I don't know, because what we're watching this time, I think it's gonna last a little bit longer. Is we're watching a lot of shit spiral from this. Now you're watching a lot of resurfaced clips, old Mark Curry clips, old Steve Harvey clips, old Kevin. Like, it's almost something to keep the conversation going. And one of the things that maybe not in this Cat situation, but that I notice when people go public with their beef, is that a lot of times emotional people need the cheerleaders. They need that back end support of people who wasn't there, who don't really know the whole situation, but because you my bitch or because you my nigga, I got your back. What if you ain't fucking with him? Then you know what I'm saying? And I watch a lot of times people need that buildup of cheerleaders and that foundation that they don't have, that artificial support in order to keep their bullshit going. That's some shit that I was going through. And it's like, yo, I'm one of them people where if we got beef, if you call me your friend, that title comes with the responsibility. All titles come with responsibility. If I'm your friend, then and you do some shit that fuck with me, I have the responsibility to make sure that I hit you about it. Not tell everybody else and then it get around to you, or have the courage to not let that shit build up until now. I'm at the point where when I see you, we supposed to be friends, but I'm beefing with you and you don't know why. I gotta have the courage to talk to you about that shit. But I don't know, man. I think this shit gonna carry on a little bit longer than any of us would like.
He gave the world so many TikTok sounds. Oh my God. This nigga gave a Tupac double album worth of TikToks that they probably finna lose their nigga. Why do you
I agree with Corey, especially on what she said about if you're my friend, that comes with responsibility. I was just having this conversation with one of my good friends this morning, and I talked about how I'm so non-confrontational from a lot of the trauma that I experienced growing up, that if I had interactions with a person and we bumped heads more than a couple times, I would just remove myself rather than have a conversation that may turn uncomfortable or has the potential to go even further than that. I would just remove myself. And as a friend, that's fucked up, because if I'm calling you a friend and I consider myself a friend to you, I owe it to you to let you know how to treat me as a friend. Yeah. And that made me uncomfortable until therapy, until talking with other people, and until getting comfortable with voicing my opinion, because it wasn't that I thought that I wasn't worth a person changing from. I just thought that people are who they are, and more than likely, if they're at a certain age, 35 or older, they're likely to not change. So I was like, the easier route is for me to remove myself than tell you how I feel and expect you to change. And this happened again. Now I'm frustrated because I shared this and you still acting the same. But we have to realize we have to give people grace. Because once you tell somebody something is happening, if they've been acting that way for 30 plus years, it's not going to just do a 180 immediately. You have to give them grace to be able to change and be able to adapt. And it may take a couple more times after you telling them before they actually get it, or before you start seeing a change. But if they are trying, if they're actively trying, they deserve that opportunity to make that change.
I don't got all that kind of time to hear. I got 2 kids that I got to go to practice, my nigga. What the fuck? How much time do you have, nigga? Like, you cultivate friendships?
I'm just saying.
You teach people how to treat you. You have to teach people how to treat you.
You got to teach people.
Everybody's different. All your friends are different. You don't have a friend group where everybody's absolutely the same. You wouldn't want that type of friend group. Right. The next thing I want to ask you guys is, before I finish the rest of the interview, one of the things that bothered me, and I feel like it was a missed opportunity, because Cat has spoke about he's taken 96 comedians on the road and he's put money in all of these people's pockets. Tony is somebody that takes people on the road, and Clint, you've done the same thing. Corey, you've done the same thing. Ronnie, you got a show January 11th at the Stardome. You taking Gigi and Ferg with you.
Yes, sir.
I feel like there was a missed opportunity to highlight some of these people, especially the up and comers. It's for instance, Takara Williams. Takara Williams.
He said Takara and he said Ricky.
Ricky, right? So I found that out after I made this claim. That was when I did my live. I didn't see that at that part yet, but I feel like that could have been weighted more on the interview than a lot of the negativity. Like, for instance, when Kev and Tony tour, you know, they big up their features, they big up their hosts, they do videos with them, they do promos with them. It's an opportunity for you to pass the baton and get them in a position where they can tour, and then they can bring 2 more comics with them, and so on and so forth. When you do that type of stuff, it really makes a difference. When your fans see this person in your videos, it really makes a difference. When you validate the integrity and the talent and the work of those people, it really makes a difference. And I just feel like throughout that interview, there could have been more of that. Of the 96 comedians that you've taken on tour. Hell, Cat Williams toured with Teddy Ray. Well, Teddy Ray toured with Cat Williams. He loved the natural talent that Teddy was. It's just again my personal feeling, my personal opinion. There could have been more time spent, more valuable than just talking about the negative of Hollywood and our co-workers in that field. What do you guys think about the responsibility of getting to a certain level and making sure that that baton is passed, making sure that the door is left open for those that are behind you or those that you're working with to get them to that next level?
So if y'all don't mind, I'd like to start off just because I am a product of that. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z has a line in a song called "It's the Things That You Do," and in the song he talks about how like, yo, I came in this game on jazz back, stood on my own too, like boom, that's that. Now I'm here to show and prove. I think it is part of your responsibility to do that. I came in this game on DL's back. You know what I'm saying? Like DL Hughley, if anybody has ever saw me do stand-up, I was working with him for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like he gave me an opportunity that that I didn't get from other comedians. I actually had, to me, I had the best internship you could ever ask for as a comedian.
Real quick, just so people know, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand this and don't know this. The first couple of years you were working with DL.
Yeah.
Was DL paying for your flight?
I'm gonna have it. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
No, wait. Just answer that part right there, and then I'm gonna let you get into it.
I wasn't
was DL
getting
paying for your flight?
No flight.
Was DL actually even paying you when you were performing?
No, he was not. No flight.
How did you
no
make
hotel.
The money, Clint?
I was making my money by during the weekdays. Me and Tahir actually would paint houses here in LA. Like literally, we painted houses just so I could have the opportunity to pay my own way to go open for DL for 5 minutes. Now I know people looking at me like, well, why would you do that? Or how come he not paying you? He got the money, blah, 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 blah. He already had an opening act. He didn't need me, but I needed him because I needed the stage time. I needed to get better. You know what I'm saying? And this was when I'm about 23, 24 years old. And let me tell y'all something, man. Yo, can't nobody ever tell me I ain't fucking want it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what separates me from a lot of other motherfuckers in this game. You know what I'm saying? Like I was willing to do the dirty work. I was willing to clean houses. I was willing to do shit just so on the weekends I would have enough money to have a flight in a hotel and get 5 to 7 minutes. And to be honest with you, yo, it made me a better person. It made me a better comedian, and it made me appreciate shit. I would never put nobody through that, though, if I'm going to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? So I headline on my own now. I would never make nobody jump through the ringer, jump through hoops. If I can pay you, I'm going to pay you. If I can get your hotel, I get your hotel. If I can get your flight, I'm going to get your flight. I say all that to say, though, look, DL told me this, though. I learned more off stage than on stage ever in my life from him. And one thing that I learned is if you die, and you didn't pass on any information, you're fucking selfish. You're fucking selfish. And my thing is this, for me, I've been doing comedy in February. It'll be 17 years I've been in this game. And at the end of the day, man, like, I've learned a lot. And, there's younger comedians now who look at me like I'm the OG, and which is wild as fuck to me, but that's neither here nor there. I'm only 36, you know what I'm saying? But they look at me like I'm the OG, and I pass on the information that was passed to me. DL had information passed to him from Robin Harris, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is what you're supposed to do. This is part of your legacy. So yeah, I do believe, Cat Williams, Cat Williams, if we really being honest, he's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet outside of comedy. Like he really is, but that's neither. And my thing is, yes, you could have gone on that platform, and all it takes, like, that's the thing, right? Like these bigger comedians who got millions and millions and millions of followers, all it takes is
Yo, man, check out my boy Clint Coley special. Check out my boy Tahir Moore special. Check out Tony's shit. Check out Corey shit. Check out Ronnie shit. Like it literally take that, a tweet, a couple of tweets. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, if you not passing the baton, man, to me, you selfish, yo.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Real quick. Me and Clint, one of the houses we painted was in Beverly Hills of this white lady. He wanted us to paint this whole living room, this like rose color. Mind you, me and Clint ain't never painted. We ain't never took no classes. Clint, we walked in the house. Clint started moving furniture. We ain't put no painter's tape around. The ceiling had exposed wooden beams.
Hold on, real quick. Somebody said I didn't watch the. Hold on,
we
real
ain't
quick.
put no painter's tape on that. We didn't have no ladder. She had to go get a ladder from her neighbors. We was out here wilding the fuck out. Okay, I just want to point that out. And the whole reason I asked Clint about if DL paid for his flight to his hotel is because he said he really interned. And I think a lot of people think that you're working with these famous comedians and it's just a life, a luxury for everybody. It's not.
No, sir, Bob.
And wait, so here, real quick, that house that we painted, she was only gonna pay us like $150, right? And split that between the both of us. But that's
if you getting $150 to paint, she didn't deserve no goddamn painter's tape. You better get what you get. $150.
But I was hungry, man. I ain't give a fuck. I was hungry. I was on Taz. I was hungry.
When I first started with Monique, you wasn't getting them luxuries. We went through, I was in a like it was real life training ground. We were supposed to go on tour when I met her that weekend, and we did one weekend at Tommy T's. I'll never forget it. The first weekend out with her, and she was like, I know I told you I was going to take you on tour with me, and I would like to apologize because I had to cancel the tour. And then she invited me. She said, but I have a residency in Vegas if you would like to come do that. Now, in my head, because I don't know no goddamn better, I'm like, oh, this bitch finna put me up and we getting ready to live the steak and lobster and caviar. I had no idea what the fuck I was getting ready to go through. Because you got to remember at the time that Monique got that residency in Vegas, she had already been blackballed for 9 years. So this was her first consistent, like public. So everything was like under a microscope. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going. I want to be on it. Absolutely. Nigga, Vegas? I put it to you this way. After the show, restaurant, I would go get me some fried rice and chicken fried rice. I would take it up to my room and I would heat it up with a blow dryer, nigga. Okay, I heated my food with a blow dryer because it wasn't no microwave in my room. That wasn't on her, but I ain't had no mic. Like when you really want to do something, nigga, you'll make all the fucking provision. At one point, I had gotten in trouble for some shit that was probably totally my fault. You know what? You get here yourself. Put your own fucking self up and see how. I already knew that I didn't have money to do that. So my goal was I was going to stay in Vegas the whole fucking week. How, where, I didn't know. But I knew that my job was to prove that I really wanted to be there, nigga. I really wanted to be there. So I feel that shit. I can't go home and tell my husband and my kids that I done went out here and popped off at Monique, nigga, and I done got sent home. Nigga. Instagram with an ABM, bitch, you praying for this.
Monique gave you the opportunity, and that's a great thing. Tony, how do you feel about that? And then Ronnie, I want to get if you have anything to add to it about the responsibilities of getting to a certain level and then make sure that you pass the baton or leave that door open for the next one.
For me, it should just be second nature. It should be like, we're in an industry where there's enough to go around, especially from a pure stand-up comedy standpoint. There's more than enough to go around. So, when you get these opportunities and blessings to have your own shows and stuff like that, and then you bring comedians on the road, you give them the platform, you give them the audience. It should just be second nature to most people. And, this competition thing is just overblown. It's like, if you put other funny comedians on your show, good. You're making the show better. And even if they are funny on your show, it's not going to hurt you as a headliner because every comedy club in America needs a different comedian to headline every single weekend of the year. So there's more than enough time and space for everybody to eat and thrive. And so, you know, some comedians are so competitive and so insecure, they don't want to bring funny comedians. They're intimidated by this or that. And the third, it's like, yo, we're not playing basketball. We're not UFC fighters. We don't have to be this competitive. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about, yeah, I'm funnier than you. Yeah, you might have been funnier than me on Thursday, but guess who was funnier on Saturday? That should be changing from show to show. Unless you know, you're just not that funny. But But any given night, you know what I'm saying? You might have got more laughs this night. Maybe the other person got more laughs the other night. And so for me, it's just like, I'm just tired of this shit, man. It's always beef and shit talk and like, you know, the truth. Now the truth comes out about Hollywood. We know, niggas, we know Hollywood is weird. We know there's some gay weird shit going on. We know. So what? Did your booty hole get touched? Did you cross the line? Did you put your own integrity at risk to get a role? Worry about your own booty hole. Enough.
Worry about your own booty hole.
That's real shit, though. Turn that song up, Tony. Now you drop.
Tony, make the t-shirt.
All right, let me finish.
T-shirt, Tone. Worry about your own booty hole, bro.
Let me finish, man, before I lose my train of thought. So, you know, so what, man? It's like, oh, you put a dress on, now you done sold out. Well, maybe they feel like they funny in the goddamn dress. Maybe that shit is hidden. Set up your own perimeters and parameters of what line you're not gonna cross to make it in Hollywood, and let that be your own goddamn line. But stop acting like, oh, because you wore a dress, you lose all credibility in your whole filmography or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how we just pick and choose what shit to pick on. As Black people, we can't wear a dress and be funny. But Tom Hanks did it for a whole TV show. Nobody brings that shit up when you talk about Tom Hanks. You know, Martin was Shanae. Eddie Murphy was his mom, his grandmother, all that shit. So we picking and choosing. And so if the shit is funny, just let it rock. And it's like, all right, you cool with being a serial killer? Yeah, I'll play the serial killer. I play the wife beater. I play the cheater. I'll play other roles like this, but I ain't gonna wear a dress. So it's like, okay, so just because you got a dress on, you can tap into the serial killer and be fine with it. You a thespian, you going dark. But as soon as you put a dress on, nah, he probably really think like that. He probably really gay. Is he really a serial killer because he played that role? Shit just ain't matching up, and it's corny. We had these same conversations day in and day out. Niggas who didn't make it in Hollywood always talking about, I didn't want to sell my soul. I wanted my booty hole closed. Okay. So they was like, yo, let us fuck you and we'll give you this part. I don't think it went down like that. I don't think it was that simple.
Let us fuck.
What they say, Tony?
Tony Baker.
I'm just tired of hearing this narrative, man. It's like,
how do we get past it, Tony? What do we do? Is that up to us to kind of band together and consistently shut that shit down? How do we get past that?
Niggas always gonna be niggas.
Niggas gonna nig, Corey.
Niggas gonna always be niggas. That's just the bottom line.
Real quick, Tony, before you retort, or if you could just give me a minute, I want to get Ronnie's opinion on this, and also just his thoughts on this. Before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, BT Kingsley is on the show. Amazing comedian, writer, producer, has one of the best sets. I don't know if he's gonna keep the set, but he has a set that's so goddamn funny, ladies and gentlemen. Every time I see it, I just want to throw money at the stage. This nigga is hilarious. Okay, I don't say that lightly. The nigga is hilarious. I silent laugh that one. His last couple sets, this nigga has been unfollowable. We just did Tony Baker a show at our studio, and he's just an absolute treat. And I love that he's my friend, ladies and gentlemen, BT Kingsley. And his new show, Give Me 5, is actually on Tubi right now. So make sure y'all run that shit up
to the nigga.
What's up, BT? How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm great, man. I appreciate y'all, man. It's a whole lot of funny on the screen, man. To hear you,
it absolutely is. We're gonna get you in the conversation too. Give me 1 second, Ronnie Jordan. Ronnie, you are undoubtedly one of the funniest individuals I've ever met in my life. It comes natural to you. And I think your talent is being recognized in ways that is so amazing, whether it's Tip and the Funny Mafia, or whether it's Desi Banks pulling you on board and you just being, and granted, I haven't seen the show with Desi and all that, but I just feel like you're the anchor of that tour. I feel like you're the one where if shit hits the fan, we can always count on Ronnie. And that's just from knowing you as a friend and as a comedian. You are the anchor. How do you feel about this? Get to a certain level, passing the baton, the responsibility of the OGs, the GOATs, all of that type of stuff. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a big responsibility because everybody watching, the young cats watching to see how you respond to certain situations, how you respond to like the DJ fucking up, the lights being fucked up. Like you always in class, you always learn. And to y'all point, like you know, y'all said y'all had to struggle for opening. I don't have that testimony because I would have known Ricky Smiley when I was very young, and I learned the comedy business from Ricky. Like I learned him getting his CDs and putting barcodes on them and selling his print copies at the shows. But I would have to drive from Atlanta to Birmingham to jump on a tour bus to go on the tour. But I was on tour with Ricky. That was my first, you know what I'm saying, tour. And I just got to see how you do it first class and pay your people and treat people right and take every picture and go all do this promo and shit. And then you still got to go holler at your kids. And his grandfather used to come on the tour with us. It was just like I learned a lot from this man, and he's very generous. And that's where I got my shit from. That's why I did More Than Culture. That's why I joined that podcast, because I was like, I might as well just pour into some dudes that I fucked with. And you know what I'm saying? Let me just tell everybody the shit I know, because I have been telling people, like, anything I learned, I come back and tell everybody. When I got to do the colleges and NACA and stuff, I came back and tell anybody who will listen how to do a demo tape, how to send it to all the agents, and how to do it if you make it on the showcase, because you can get this type of money and this, and that. And, you know, maybe 3 people did it. You know what I'm saying? So you just get tired of trying to tell everybody. But, you know, when you find your people that'll listen, you know, that shit is very valuable, man. It's like I'm blessed to have a lot of people in my life to kind of, you know, always tell me some information that I can share. And I'm always sharing the shit, because that's my wealth. My network is my money to me. Like, the network is everything. Like, I get shit all the time just because somebody in the room was like, we need a writer for a Drake video. Life is Good. Them niggas called everybody. The whole Wild 'N Out was taping. Nigga, nobody, motherfuckers called me, and I went to go write all the jokes on the Drake and Future video. Just because, you know what I'm saying? It's just being cool and having all those arms and extensions. And it's like, you got to teach the young people how to do that, because ain't nobody going to look out for us but us. That's right. Them niggas waiting on you to fail. Like Tony said, man, these niggas love a train wreck. We love to report on shit. They'll never say when you did good. Yep. Let a comic bomb everybody in the group chat. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It's like that. Nobody reports when you goddamn killing. So it's like, you know, even if you're consistent, a lot of y'all, everybody on here is consistently tearing shit down. They don't tell everybody every time y'all ripping. You know what I'm saying? This shit, they get tired of this shit. So I feel like me even cheering or bigging up or putting, like, if I see you got a tour, if I see you got dates, I'm gonna put it in my IG story. Especially if you're coming to Atlanta, I'm putting a ticket in that bitch and say, go see my partner, pull up on my partner. Like, that shit don't cost me nothing.
Nothing. It don't nothing.
Shit. Because
I
like,
do that
I treat people how I want to be treated. That's all. It's just like I treat people how I want to be treated, and a lot of it comes back. So I really appreciate learning that type of shit from people, from other comics. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
I absolutely agree with you. I love seeing the testimonials in the physical form, even if it's digital. And I say that to say this. I remember talking to Keenan about 1.5 years ago, and Keenan was trying to get his numbers up on Instagram. And I had the same conversation that I had with Keenan that I have with hundreds of other comedians. It's the same conversation that Kev had with me and Tony had with me. Consistency will outlast talent every fucking day of the week. Keenan was like, man, I'm just trying to get these numbers up. I was like, bro, you got to be consistent. If you posting a video once a week, move it to 3. After you get it to 3 times a week and you're doing that consistently, do it to 5. After 5, do a video every day. Keenan is now over 100,000 followers on Instagram because he was consistent. because he trusted the process, because he put his all into making content to grow his audience. Again, I'll use Tony and Kev as an example. When Kev and Tony first went on our first tour, Real Comedians of Social Media, neither one of them were at 100,000. Neither one of them. Me and Tony was sharing rooms. We was in the same room. Tony was sitting on his bed, crisscross applesauce, making videos on his phone. We watching Forensic Files and we fall asleep. To see the growth to where we are now is amazing. It's a testimonial, but it's also a testament to being consistent with your routine, being consistent with posting, being consistent with content, and being consistent with the hustle. Speaking of hustle, one of the things that Cat Williams said in this interview, he mentioned the fact about Ced ain't doing comedy right now. Steve ain't doing comedy right now. He's on his 19th 100 city tour. He's still doing comedy. He got 12 comedy specials out, all this type of stuff. He made points. But as somebody that has been on the road since 2007, only missing 1 year, one calendar year off of the road, I can tell you right now, I'm tired as fuck of traveling city to city, weekend to weekend, not even really getting to see the city that we're in. The two tours that me, Kev, and Tony did, we were doing a different city every day. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, different city. So while most comics do one city in a weekend, we were doing 3 cities in a weekend. I'm tired. If I can get a job here that's going to pay me triple or double what I'm making on the road, why the fuck wouldn't I do that? The part of comedy and entertainment that people tend to leave out is the business of it. Making 100,000 in a weekend is good business. Making 1.5 million over a season is better business, in my opinion. Do you guys feel like because somebody walks away from comedy to take what I consider a better financial business decision, that they're not purists, or they shouldn't be respected or held as a great in comedy?
Y'all call Eddie Murphy one of the greatest comedians of all time. That nigga ain't done stand-up since 1987. Y'all want to have that conversation or no? Y'all call Eddie Murphy. A lot of people call Eddie Murphy top 5, one of the greatest comedians. And I'm not saying he's not, but he has not done stand-up since I've been born.
That's true.
There's not been. When have you seen Eddie Murphy since 1980? And that's not a diss. That's a
not a diss. Absolutely,
it's not a diss. It's a fact. So my thing is that why? So my point is that somebody he took better opportunities. He was in classic movies, Boomerang, Nutty Professor, movies that will be ingratiated in our minds and our hearts for the rest of our lives. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like if somebody wants to stop doing something, bro, who are we to sit there and tell them, nah, man, you not a real comedian, or you ain't this, or you ain't that, or you ain't this, because you don't want to do something no more? Nah, motherfucker, you just. Here's the thing, yo, right? We got other things that we just good at. What's wrong with being multifaceted? What's wrong with having multiple things or multiple things that you're good at? You know what I'm saying? Like I got a podcast. I'm good at it. Got 2 successful ones. You know what I'm saying? I'm a great DJ. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck does it like, you know what I'm saying? Why does it matter that, for a couple of months or a year, I just don't want to do stand-up? Maybe I just right now at this point in my life, I don't have nothing to talk about. Maybe at this point in my life right now, and also, man, people want to be around their families. People want to be around their friends. Like you get tired of missing birthdays. You get tired of missing football games. You get tired of missing all these stuff. Like life will pass you the fuck by because you so busy working and being on the road, man. So I mean, look to here. I don't and I gotta get ready to jump, y'all. I'm sorry. I got something I gotta do at 10 o'clock. But all I'm gonna say is that being, because I know Tony, you taking the year off, man. Take the fucking year off, bro. Take however much time you need, bro. I told y'all I'm a big advocate of mental health. Maybe a nigga mentally just don't right now. They need their sanity, man. Maybe you need time to go get help. Maybe if some of you motherfuckers got off the road and got help, maybe you wouldn't be so miserable. Maybe you wouldn't be so upset and all this other shit. So that's really all I got to say. Hey, everybody that's watching Zooming with the Homies, man, I appreciate y'all watching. If y'all could do me a favor, my comedy special, My Edible Kicked In, is on YouTube right now. I'm gonna drop the link in the comments. I know everybody been asking, some people been asking for my Cash App. I don't want that. Go put your eyes on my special. Got 300 and something thousand views. We got 100 something thousand likes, man. The shit is funny, and I think y'all fuck with it. I think y'all fuck with me. All of y'all that's on this Zoom right now, you know I love each and every one of you guys individually, separately. We got our own personal relationships. Thank you for having me to here, man. Appreciate you,
always
good brother.
Pleasure,
I love
my boy.
you. No doubt.
Hey, that nigga spitting.
I'm gonna hit you tomorrow, bro. Love
Oh,
you.
no doubt. All right, bro.
BT, put your phone on Do Not Disturb or something. I'm sick and tired of seeing you go in and out. I'm sick and tired of the shit. Now you're getting it from me because if Tony got to tell you, you know it ain't gonna be as nice. All right, you see, look how Tony looking at you right now. Like, because I didn't got to be here, peeps. I'm trying to be in the community, but you, BT,
I thought we was being positive.
I'm not. I'm not being positive. I'm annoyed.
BT, Tony, do you see him going in and out? I'm sick of it.
I peeped it, but I was in the chance words. So I didn't really
Oh
know.
my God. BT, Tony, Corey. No, BT, Ronnie, Tony, Corey. If you guys got something to add to it, let's get it going.
I just want to say this is what we've been talking about in the Chatsworth about this wearing a dress stuff, and this shit is annoying. So people be like, they love to see black men in a dress. Hollywood does love it. They love to see men, period, in dresses. The highest grossing men dressed as women movies are Tootsie and Mrs. Doubtfire. White men dressed as women. Let's stop acting like it's just black men. It's white men too. They want to see men in dresses. They be like, yo, it's emasculating to see men in dresses. The thing about comedy, if you watch the majority of comedies, you can't be too masculine in a comedy. It's very rare that you watch a comedy and see the lead character with hands. It's very rare that you see the main component, the main guy in a comedy that be stomping people out. The only movie I can think of is Happy Gilmore, to where he was ready to scrap at any given time. Usually,
and Waterboy.
Usually,
and Homer Simpson.
And usually in the comedy, Homer Simpson. Usually in the comedy, the main characters are soft. So it's not just about a dress. It's just like in the comedic landscape, we got to have soft characters, like soft pushovers or whatever. So that's just a common theme in comedy in general. So it's not just a dress. It's more than that. It's like, you know, how many times you watch Family Matters? They getting punked by the bullies. Ain't anybody delivering hands like that. They losing fights. They scared to fight. That's just what it is. And so
Eddie got beat up by the Dragons.
Who?
Eddie got beat up by the Dragons.
Yeah, Family Matter. He got his ass whooped
at Rachel's place. I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? He got his ass tore off.
Eddie was a singer, nigga. He wasn't no fighter. Goddamn, nigga was an R&B singer.
BT, you're next. Are you going to be able to give your thought without
listen, you guys? Out? I don't know. Hold on. You know what I'm gonna do?
Sick of this shit, man.
I know how to fix this. I'm cutting off.
Put it on Do Not Disturb. Hippie just told you. Oh, now shit then froze because they got dead. Ronnie, give me your takes on people switching pivots in the comedy world, going
that should have been the last one,
doing straight comedy to like hosting a show like Steve or doing other things like said. What's your thoughts on pivoting and losing your standing in the comedic world?
I think people that are purists at stand-up.
You said Ronnie did, didn't he?
I did say Ronnie because I thought he wasn't gonna be back yet. I thought he wasn't gonna be. But you know what? Let BT go.
Go ahead, Ronnie.
Go ahead while your phone working, bro. Go to get it while you.
Yeah, go to get it.
I'm off my Wi-Fi now, baby.
Go ahead before you run out of minutes, big dog. Get it. Go ahead.
Go ahead, BT. Then we go Ronnie. We go Corey.
I think if you're a stand-up purist, then you're probably always going to be on stage in some way. Now, everybody here, I'm a newer comic. I've only been doing comic like 5 years. So when
I have to say CAP, nigga.
What? No, Anyway, so like, because I started comedy
more than 5 years old, bro.
No. I started comedy at 16, and now being that I'm 33. So like, what you find is comedy. You like, if you're a purist at stand-up, you're gonna probably always be doing stand-up. Anybody who's had certain successes knows that movies and TV pull you away, and writing and all that good shit, it pulls you away. But to come back to it is the reason I think Eddie gets a nod is because he was at the top. To be at the top and leave is different than being in the middle of the pack and leaving. Steve was at the top. So to criticize him for leaving is weird. He just decided to pivot and didn't want to do stand-up no more, which is fine. You know what I mean? Now, No Cappuccino, that show did happen. The Versus show where Steve went on and did a set and be like, I ain't got nothing negative to say. And then Cat went on right behind him.
It killed.
And killed and kept talking shit about Steve. That happened. That is one of the real things. Now, him running faster than Deion Sanders, I don't know about that part, but that other part. and as I'm watching this, like, I don't really have nothing. Cat has looked out for me and Kev looked out for me. So them two niggas ain't gonna get no smoke from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have both looked out in major ways that have pivoted my career. But there's another element that I don't feel like we discussed, but I'll let us go around and then y'all tell me what I'll circle back after you go around, Terry.
Okay. Ronnie, what you got, bro?
Well, so what's the question again? I done got lost in this shit.
What's your opinion on comedians pivoting and going into hosting or more acting? Because real quick, for those who are who have watched it or watched most of it, Cat even said when Shannon Sharpe asked him, like, did you ever want to act or anything like that? Cat said that's the goal, that's the plan. You want to get big enough to where you're noticed by Hollywood so you can be put in movies. And he said that, but he still criticized Steve and said for pivoting and going different lanes. So that's what I'm saying. Should your pivot be held against you in your comedic standing?
I think it's wherever you're at. It's wherever you're at mentally at the time. It's like if you at the top and you decide to go do some TV and shit, you just go do some TV. Comedians gonna find a stage. When we get an argument with our girl, our kids, we gonna want to go tell some goddamn body. We are some junkies, bro. Nigga gonna find a little dirty comedy club to go get 5 minutes off here and there if they feel like it. But I feel like pivoting should be celebrated because that's the goal. He probably had to go use the bathroom or something.
Oh, somebody camera off.
Ain't nobody go say nothing, huh?
Tony Baker so he get annoyed by other people talking at one time or some shit.
No,
in the comments like Tony.
I don't know, because in the comments he said, "Here, how about this?"
I turned the camera off. No matter what I do over here, they saying something. Tony rubbing his head. Tony looking at his fingers. Tony blinking.
Tony, you gotta stay out the comments.
I'm thinking what I did to Tony. I thought
right. I thought he didn't want to hear me.
You know, Tony got an interview with Shannon Sharpe tomorrow. I heard Ronnie.
Tony the Baker. Why you giving the people that much validation over your actions, man?
I can't do shit over here, man. So I'm gonna just cut the camera off. But I'm here.
Oh my God,
Tony, that's why you gotta stay out the comments.
Corey, what you got?
First of all, Tony, you gotta stay out the comments because now we all looking like, well, what the fuck? I was like, oh, he don't want to hear from a woman's point of view.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Fuck them people. I mean, not like that. I love them. Thank you for the cash apps. Let me not say that. Here's the thing. From a business standpoint, I'm not leaving no money on the table. I don't give a fuck what's going on. I'm not leaving no money on the table. If I have an opportunity to do something other than comedy that's in the entertainment field and I'm partly good at it and I can do it, I'm gonna fucking do it. But with comedy running through my veins, that stage is gonna always be my bottom bitch. I'm always going to go. So the two questions is, number one, you can't denounce Steve from that. Was he good at it when he was on it? Now, if he was on there bombing the whole time, then that would be different. But if that, like you said, if he left at the top and then found out that Steve Hightower was a better look for him, then he need to be, he need to go over here. But you can't discredit, you can't wipe history from what the fuck he did. He put that work in. But I'm not leaving no money on the table. But you can best believe that when it all goes down to it, comedy gonna be my bottom bitch, and I'll be right back on that stage at some point. Like you said, Ronnie, we goddamn junkies. Tony, come back on the stage. We need your face.
I'm right here. You know
hey man, listen. I dropped a full album this year on music only. Hey, man, do what you want. Fuck these people.
I used to make beats and shit, bro. That shit was just therapeutic. Some of us need our brains don't stop, so we need other shit to do. Like it's niggas who play video games like goddamn gamers. Like they should be gamers for real. There's some comedians that should just be gamers. So,
Yeah.
And also, all the comedians. My wife said we're all 13 anyway. She said we're all fucking 9 years old. Like we're all preteen kids, like adult kids. We just, you know what I'm saying? Like
she's not wrong.
Yeah, not wrong. I think we have fun though. I think the niggas our age look way older than us. If you the niggas you went to high school with is looking.
Tony, what you got, man? Before we get up out of here, we got about 12 minutes before we get up out of here, guys. So we're gonna finish up this, and then we're gonna do some closing remarks before we get up out of here.
What's the latest topic on this
This one was about the pivot, like comics pivoting, and people like demeaning their comedic standing cat demeaning their comedic standing because they chose to pivot and take another route after reaching a certain height.
Like y'all know, I'm a stand-up comedian purist. I'm all about. I feel like if you're not hitting the stages regularly, you're gonna lose that muscle. I'm not saying that you got a tour, but at least be getting up locally wherever you live. I'm a strong believer in that. Like even though I'm taking a year off of the road, I'm for damn sure gonna be getting up around LA. Or like if I'm in a random city, I'm gonna look for that stage time because I love to do stand-up comedy. So I see myself doing it until I'm in the ground. With that being said, though, I feel like if you stop doing stand-up, it's just like Clint said, man, Eddie Murphy ain't done nothing since Raw, and Eddie Murphy is on damn near everybody's top list of comedians of all time. So I feel like that doesn't define how strong you are as a comedian. And if you wanted to pivot into acting, movies, and television and hosting shows, that shouldn't diminish what you did on that stage. And as far as like, so what, you got a lot of comedy specials. I mean, are they good? That's the real question. Like you can have 20, 30, 50, 11 specials. Are they dope? Like when was your last fire special? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I've said this before on my social media platform. These specials ain't special. Let's be real. Let's be honest about it.
Most people got three.
A lot of these shits is one and done. You watch them and then you never think about them again. Or you sitting there looking at it like, oh, that's a good point. Oh, that's a clever joke. But are you laughing? Are you laughing uncontrollably? Are you quoting what you saw in the comedy special? Are you talking about it later with your friends? Like the comedy specials that I love, I bring up all the time. I quote all the time. That's when you got a real classic special. Mm-hmm. Rather than
just your top five. Let me get your top five.
Rather than just a stream of just like thoughts and good point comedy and TED Talks, give me that fire ass comedy that I quote on the regular. My top 5 comedy specials, I don't have a top 5, but like Damon Wayans' 2 HBO specials, The Last Stand and Still Standing. Delirious. Sinbad's Brain Damage and Son of a Preacher Man. If we want to get more current, Mike Epps' Underrated Never Faded. Sebastian Maniscalco, Aren't You Embarrassed? These are comedy specials that I come back to and watch and quote all the time. That's when you got like a fire special. Just because you shot something and you had a film crew and that shit was a $20,000 budget that you paid for, is that shit fire and is it rewatchable and are we laughing? Is it getting funnier with repeated viewings?
Mm-hmm.
Sinbad don't get his credit, boy.
Sinbad is one of the best to ever do it.
Brain Damage is hilarious.
I did a show with him. I did a show with him, dog. He sat on the stool for 2 hours. That shit felt like 10 minutes.
Man.
I said, I got to talk to him. I was like, what made you want to be clean? He was like, everybody was cussing. And the only person that sounded right cursing to me was Richard Pryor because he did it the best. So everybody sounded like a Richard knockoff. So I wanted to be different. So I did cuss. And I was like, bro. And he said he shot a special that's dirty. It's somewhere. He was like, he don't got no copy of it, but it's a dirty Sinbad special out in the world somewhere.
I remember watching Sinbad way back. Remember when he did the Soul Train Awards, when he hosted the Soul Train Awards? I remember that whole monologue. And my favorite joke from even back being a teenager was cheeseburger and a Coke, and a cheeseburger and a Coke. Remember he did that?
I remember that.
Like that kind of shit has stuck with me since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I was a fucking teenager. So when you have those kind of great, like you said, that nigga don't get nearly as much credit as he possibly should.
Yeah.
And thanks for naming those specials because 3 of those I haven't seen. And the one guy with the name that if I try to say it, it's gonna fuck me up.
Tony, is that the one you named? Is that the one where he had the band when he played with the band and then he started doing the special? And he had that leopard towel where he was talking about going to kids' games and shit.
Well, he had 3 dope ass HBO specials. He had Brain Damage. That's where he had the blue outfit on with the leather sides, and then he had Son of a Preacher Man, and then he had afros and bell bottoms.
Right.
And on the latter 2, I forget which one he had the band in because I know he liked to incorporate music in his stand-up specials.
That was the one he did with Comedy Central, and I forgot. But he said, "Nigga, he got a joke on that bitch." He said, "You be at them games with your kids, and they be about to make the playoffs, but you be sick of going to games." He said, "You at the games, I'm missing."
Sinbad one of the best to ever do it, man.
He really is. Sinbad was one of the first. I did the Tom Joyner cruise with him. I had won the comedy competition at the J Spot. And the winner got to go on a Tom Joyner cruise for the week and a half. And we did shows and we partied. And it was me and Funny Lady, Yvette, the Funny Lady. And when I tell you, Sinbad, he was the first person I had seen live. Every 30 to 45 seconds, a roaring laugh. Not like roaring laugh. We're in the belly of the boat. We're in the belly of the ship. And those laughs filled the entire auditorium. I had never seen that in my life. That consistent, never in my life. Changed my idea about comedy, how I looked at everything. Sinbad was definitely is and was and will forever be one of the greatest to ever do it.
So when you do the biopic, how you gonna play it when you play Sinbad in the biopic?
And
I'm gonna get knee implants. I'm gonna be a little taller, and then I definitely thought about that.
Can I I want to point something out just for the audience. I know y'all probably already see this. Cat, whatever. I'm not even talking about that. I just want to talk about H&M. H&M posted a little boy, a little black boy with a sweater, and he had a monkey on the sweater. And the outrage causes everybody to Google H&M. And now H&M is in your algorithm and you start seeing H&M everywhere. I believe that there is a new marketing where you say something fantastical or you say a bunch of shit just to get your ass in the algorithm. And if you know how to manipulate this, then you could just use it in your favor. You could just say something stupid, something crazy, something fucked up, and everybody like, what James say? And they just be looking your name up. Now your name is everywhere, and it's popping. I'm not saying specifically that's what happened with Cat, but we know some of that shit was true, and we know some of that shit was not true, right? So some of that can be to turn the camera. It's not that hard to do and manipulate because people be real sheepish right now. Yeah. I think companies do it on purpose. I think companies put out some bullshit and they be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but thank you for looking us up." You know what I mean? Because your phone don't care if it's negative or positive. It just know that out of all the shit going on, then there's one thing we talking about.
Brandon Brody texted me. It was like, "Yo, did y'all talk about this whole thing being a distraction about other stuff in the world?" And I told him not yet. And BT, I think that's just a perfect thing to go out on is that we've seen certain things like this happen before. And it definitely could be that. It definitely could be that. It could honestly be just Cat's opinion and his feeling towards what's going on and what has happened and all of that. All of the two things can be true at one time. All right. I'm not saying either one is true or than the other. The whole purpose of this whole night was to kind of just highlight what has happened. And us as a class, I feel like we have a better understanding and better use of the internet, and we've eliminated the need for bookers and promoters. Tony Baker, Ronnie Jordan, BT, Corey, we do a lot of our promotions online. You know, we make flyers digitally, we post them digitally, we ask the comics that are on the show to share it. The club posts it too. So it's eliminated a lot of roles to where we are really on the front line ourselves. And I think technology is a great tool to be appreciated for those things. However, you still got to do the work. You still, when you do get on that stage, you still got to be funny. And comedy is not like it was 20 years ago when all you had to do was be funny. Nowadays, you have to be your promoter. Sometimes you have to be your graphic designer. You have to do your reps on stages in between on the road gigs. You have to be your own marketing campaign when it comes to what you're going to be wearing when you walk out and you get picture shot of you, all that type of stuff. It is a lot more responsibility than it was. But I honestly think it's better. I think we have a way better reach, better chance of getting and expanding our reach to our audience. I always talk about the first time I went to London. People didn't recognize me for any of the shows I've done on HBO, NBC, any of that shit. They recognize me from YouTube, All Def Digital, and all that type of stuff. So, how do you guys feel about the current state of comedy, where it is, and the use of the internet to expand that reach? Are you grateful for it? Do you not like the internet and where it is? Do you wish it was where it was 20 years ago? That's basically what I'm asking. How do you guys feel about it?
You want me to go?
Whoever's ready.
So I like the state that we're in, but I want us as creatives to create. If everybody is the algorithm, the apps, the technology has us in a world where it's very easy to regurgitate what has happened or what is happening, and then there's no fresh ideas. I love when Tony says, hey man, I'm gonna put on a show and boom, here's some stand-up, or hey, I'm creating a cartoon. I love when Ronnie's writing on something. I love when wording is hard come out. I love when Corey's doing something. I love when we create. And that's why all this should be hilarious to me. It's like all this talking and all this back and forth. Everybody just talking about shit. It's like, nigga, some shit happened and we be talking about the shit that happened. It's like, ain't nobody doing nothing. It's like, because we're not journalists, we're comedians and creatives. So let's create. So if we don't like the movies, we don't like the stand-up, we don't like this or that, man, put some shit out.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then put another option out, because I feel like that's our responsibility to put some shit out to combat it and say, this is the shit you're supposed to be looking at or doing. And if you ain't doing that, then if you're not creating at all, you got to shut the fuck up. You got to shut your ass up and sit there and watch and be an audience member, because you talking about some shit that I did. I don't know this nigga. DJ Academics has made it a point to talk about niggas that have taken it upon themselves to create and their art and what's good and what's trash, but you ain't never did nothing but talk about what they did. If they stopped doing shit, you wouldn't have nothing to talk about. So that's what that's my only pivot. Other than that, I like where we're at, but I just want us to use it where we are creating.
Corey, what you got?
I think from a point of actual stand-up, live stand-up, I'm not a fan of social media. I think that without it, stand-up would be in, and it's not that it's not in high demand, but think about shows before the internet, where you didn't know unless you saw a picture of something that was going on. Like, it wasn't plastered. I wouldn't be able to go and do a comedy club, and then before I get home, the whole set is plastered all over social media. I miss that demand. I miss people having to come out and see live comedy, because it would also separate, those who are here for a good time and those who are here for a long time. But I also love the fact that social media has allowed me to come in contact with people that I never in my wildest dreams would have imagined that I've been able to reach or create with. That whole pandemic thing, while it was a clusterfuck, I got a chance to, all of y'all I met in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Every last one of y'all. I never in my wildest dreams would have thought that I would have been able to even have this conversation, or be able to even touch y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for it in that aspect, but because I love stand up with all my heart, that demand and that drive and that, that thing for stand up, I think the social media and media has completely watered it down and is drowning it.
You don't think it's helping?
For live stand up? No. I don't, because like you said, I think because of it, you got a lot of copycats now. You got a lot of copycats. You can identify it immediately, yeah, but you got a lot of copycats. You got a whole lot of specials. You got a whole lot of, like, everything is over super saturated because we do this now. I remember when going to the movies was a big fucking deal. Now it's like on Tubi, on Apple TV, and it's like we don't get up and go outside anymore. We don't have that experience. We do it all from right here. I want to be able to go out and be like, nigga, I sat in that seat. We got popcorn. Like, I just love that live in your face experience.
Can I say something real quick to here?
Real quick, because I want to make sure I get Ronnie and Tony in, because it's already a 10.
I've done shows with Tony Baker in Pleasanton. I've done shows with Matt Rife recently in Northern Cali, and I've done shows with Nate in a theater. And I am seeing fresh new faces of people that had no interest in stand-up, that did not even really know what stand-up was, coming to shows because they've seen people on social media. I think there was a world where the social media star might have been somebody who wasn't a traditional stand-up, and then they went out, saw a show, got butt hurt, and it was like, that person can't be funny. So some of the stand-up that we're seeing get out, I think people are having a new healthy relationship with stand-up. We're like, oh, if he's creating this in this moment, he got to be funny because that just happened. So now they're showing up buying tickets, never being to a show. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thousands of people showing up that ain't never been to stand-up, just like, all right, let's see I don't know what this is, but I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very helpful in that way once you get it to kind of work in your favor.
Got it.
Ronnie, what you got for the people, bro?
I lived in both eras. I'm probably the only person on here who has this set on VHS. But yeah, man, just coming from the comedy days to now, it's still you got a whole TV network in your phone right now. Like, you can fucking do a whole movie, you can do a whole sitcom with this motherfucker right here. I remember when it took 12 hours to put something on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, it used to take forever, but I think now it's gonna show who working. Like, let's see if you really want these people at your show. You can't just pull up like you used to. They just book a headline, nobody knew. You just pull up. No, you gotta earn this shit now. Like, let's see if you him or you her. Let's see it. What's up? You know what I'm saying? So even if it's not packing out a show, you can sit on that bitch and motherfucker, like, your merch. Like, Zuba with the homies, all the all-deaf digital shit, that shit gave me a second and third life in comedy, bro. I've been around a long goddamn time. And there's so many niggas that they didn't know who I was, and they just saw the one joke, the fat nigga at the door. And then they go back and look at all the skits and shit and be like, okay, this nigga been doing shit. Like, that skit, don't hit him. That nigga Tony Baker said, this shit is the funniest shit ever. That shit sent so many people to my page, dog.
I love that video.
Man,
don't hit him.
Hey, that video where Ronnie was running away. He was running away.
He's like, I'm dying because of you. Man.
He shot him. He was beating him up and just shot him. So it's just, I made so many new friends, and just like the networking and just it get your juices going, because that shit was getting boring going to college after college, and I'm turning 30 and 40, goddamn, and these niggas are still 18. I got to talk about farting and roommates. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really remove myself go do some clubs, and then just kind of rework the shit. It's like you can't. Technology gonna come. It's like if you gonna goddamn embrace this shit, you gonna be rewarded. But like if you're gonna be like, hell no, these niggas would need cordless phones. Like you, you know they got a phone without the cord on it. That's how you sound. We love watching the game on our phone in the toilet, but we don't like when niggas can be funny at any time. But I think that comes with it, bro. I think it just helps us get a new audience. And like my son is finding me on YouTube, and I gotta catch it because he's trying to watch more of the culture and shit. He's like, Dad, you're funny. I'm like, hey, what are you watching? So it's like it's cool, but it's like having your own TV network. Like motherfuckers can put your name in literally and find everything you've been on. Like these niggas stop me for dad jokes all the time in the airport. Them niggas ain't see Comic View. Them motherfuckers. Some people saw Boston. I had a TV show for 2 seasons on WeTV. Like I get noticed more for dad jokes and Zooming with the homies and Keep Your Distance. Keep Your Distance really goddamn helped the nigga out. I was like, nigga,
same.
So you know what I'm saying? That's the Comic View. Those productions by independent people are the new Comic View, and we got to keep doing that shit. And we got some shit coming out because inspired by y'all. We doing our own shit in Atlanta Soundstage. We did we taped a bunch of comedians on their sets, and then I taped 2 sets. I changed clothes. I hosted that bitch. Did that shit like 2 sets. I was like, nigga, this dope. Let's keep doing these. Let's keep because we can crank out a hard sell. Like Tony, niggas ain't got no hard 20 every time. You can crank out a good goddamn sell. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But this shit keep me sharp. I love it, man. I'm like, this shit keep me. It's like staying in the gym. It's like, nigga, I'm Ray Allen. I'm open in the corner, nigga. Give me the ball. I'm not running the floor with y'all niggas. Give me the ball in the corner. Watch.
And when Ronnie do that, and when we do that, we gotta support it like it's HBO. Niggas gotta pull up, share the shit, and treat it like it is. And don't be acting like, oh yeah, this is my homeboy. Nah, nigga, this shit important.
This shit is important, bro. Go watch it on. I watch y'all shit on. I watch shit on everybody's page. Like who got like if it's reposted, I watch it over there too. Yeah. So it's like, and my workout room now is the comments in y'all funny videos. That's the funniest workout. Like the roast Kev on stage and his comments, them niggas be all up under that motherfucker. I was so mad that little ass cheddar nigga had Fred Hammond in. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? You got a gospel icon in the little dude chair? Like, so I just the internet is just fun to me, bro. I'm like, this shit is like the chat room in college, nigga. That's how old I am. The chat rooms was lit,
nigga. Tony Baker, what you got for the people?
For me, I'm in the middle. I feel like we can be oversaturated with the amount of stand-up clips and stuff that's being put out there. There's a pressure to put out your material, and then it's already gone before you even touch the city. So there's a level of oversaturation that's out there, and the fact that you could be recorded at any given time, unless you're super strict like Chappelle and them, where you got to bag your phone. Yeah. But also on the other side of it, I mean, it's like a lot of people in this very chat right now would never have heard of us if it wasn't for social media. And so, you know, I owe a lot of the things that I've accomplished to social media. Like, you know, people come to see me, they saw me on, whether it be dad jokes, they saw me on Roast Me, they saw me on All Def Digital, they saw me with Kev, they saw me with this, that, and the third. The voiceovers bring people out. So it's like all of that is attributed to, you know, social media. Like, you know, I was on TV several times, but don't nobody come up to me and say, I loved you on Last Comic Standing. I mean, 1 or 2 people may say that, but that's not the reality. I loved you on Stand Up Revolution or Stars or all that other shit that I've done on TV. It's the social media stuff that has really changed my life. And so, you know, and that's all due to social media. And now we can take better control of our own career and our own destiny because we can take it straight to the people. It's like, yo, I can promote myself and be like, yo, I'm going to be in your city. Pull up. Don't be ashy, man. I want to be moisturized out here in Nashville. And so we don't have to depend on agencies and TV networks and all of this other stuff to thrive. And we can thrive on our own. So that's the biggest plus of social media, is that we have better control of our own destiny in this game, because we're entrepreneurs. Every one of us, we're an entrepreneur. We're doing this on our own. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not relegated to a script a producer, a director, any of that. We stand and fall on our own 10 toes in here. And that's the beauty of it. And that's also the terrifying part of it. And I feel like social media has allowed us to expand our eyeballs. And, a lot more people got introduced to us via social media. So it's great. But at the same time, we can be oversaturated too. So there's that as well.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man, I want to thank all you guys for tuning in, tapping in. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. We dropped a lot of facts, dropped a lot of jewels. I hope you guys are already following all of our guests: Tony Baker, Ronnie Jordan, Corey Bell, and BT. Everybody got something going on. BT, as I said earlier, his show Give Me Five is now on Tubi. Corey Bell just celebrated her birthday, looked fantastic at it. She got some new dates coming. Ronnie Jordan is going to be at the Stardome on January 11th.
January 11th. This is the first day of the Blessed Day of tour, man. I'm trying to add some more dates, but I'm trying to work it around this Miss Pat show. Season 4, we right in the mix. She got some good stuff coming, y'all. So, go check it out on BET, man. Miss Pat is a comedian from Atlanta. They used to sell dope as a teenager and had 2 kids and got out of all that shit with some comedy. So y'all fuck with that, and I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Sidney Costello's in the chat. He is a goddamn liar, saying he discovered BT because of social media. He's just very childish. Tony Baker, I couldn't be more happy for him to sit his ass down. Tony Baker is taking a year off from touring.
Yeah, you can afford it, bro.
Enjoying life.
That is amazing.
And this is one of the greatest things that he could ever do. Tony Baker took off a couple weeks after the passing of his son, and then he went right back to the stage. He poured his heart and soul in that stage, and he took that pain and was able to fuel himself to make you guys laugh. So the fact that he's going to take a year off for his own personal health, mental health, well-being, and just enjoyment. As comics, we are always trying to think of the best next joke or the best next video or auditioning, and a lot of times our quality of life is shit. Because if we ain't getting booked, we really ain't doing nothing. And if we ain't got no shows going, we ain't doing nothing. So we just chilling at the house, and we always question our ability and everything. So the fact that he can take a year off, he's in a place financially and mentally and emotionally that he can take a year off. You guys think it's just a vacation or Tony ain't going on the road. This is such a blessing as a comedian to be able to take a year off. I'm so happy for you, brother.
My pocket's they're gonna take the hit though.
Oh, they're gonna definitely take the hit.
It's gonna be worth it, bro.
Yeah,
it's gonna be worth it.
I'm not scared at all. I'm not scared.
This is when you come out with the new bakery shirts. You come out with some new designs every 3 months. Drop a new design and get that residual income coming in, brother. This is ways to do everything, man. So you can still make a little something. Even if you're making $1,000 a month off of shirts, you good.
So to protect your booty hole shirts coming too. You know.
That's got to do that.
Protect your whole booty hole.
The whole booty hole.
Worry about your own booty hole.
So here, picture
I'm
this.
excited because
picture being out.
Go ahead, BT. What'd you say?
No, I was just saying. Picture being touring for all this time, and Tony might just be vacationing. And he's just like, man, you know what? I'm gonna go to this city. I'm gonna just go hang out. And then this nigga just pop into a club because he just want to get a set in. Nigga, that's beautiful, bro.
Yeah,
I'm just in New York, just on vacation.
They have no idea he's coming.
That's beautiful.
He has a. What if he goes to a little random ass town?
That's what I'm saying.
One bar that just has a comedy night, and they get the show of their motherfucking life. Because Tony Baker just wanted to go to Joshua Tree. I went to Joshua Tree one time. It's one main bar in that area. And 2 people recognize, like, what are you doing out here? And it's like that randomness, that excitement that they would have if they saw Tony Baker just random, like, nigga,
at a random ass spoken word show. And make it see it.
You know, that's the equivalent with a drug dealer pull back up to the playground and be like, hey, look, man, let me get a shot up.
Right. What are you doing down here?
Ball, right?
Hot wings. I love hot wings. I'm excited because I get to the first 3 cities I get to do this year on my tour are all places that I've never been. So I'll be at the Stardome on February 1st, and then I got 5 shows at the Looney Bin in Arkansas that following.
I never done that one either.
Through the 11th.
Yeah,
and then Mike drops San Diego.
Oh, it's a beautiful club.
Yeah,
Mic Drop might be one of the most. It's top 10 in club because they redesigned it, renovated it. Beautiful club.
I'm excited about that. And just like y'all, Ronnie, shout out BT, y'all with your shows coming out. Jasmine Lewis, who is a dope ass person out there in LA. She's been on every goddamn thing. I got to be the host for her new comedy show coming out called Comedy Come Up, and we've already filmed 18 episodes.
Oh, wow.
Six in Chicago, 6 in Houston, and 6 in Memphis of all new comics and up and coming comics, and they all got 10 minutes. So I'm excited. That's coming out on all platforms in March.
And
Let me know if you want to do Sacramento.
Jasmine Lewis?
I know the comics.
Yeah.
Shoot me her name on just text me her name on
and she was on every TV 90s TV sitcom you can think of. When you see it, JASZMINE, you'll know. I said it, Jasmine Lewis. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know
Jasmine Lewis, she was she was the wife of Ice Cube in the barbershop, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm now picture her now.
Yeah.
Okay. So we did 18 comics in each city, 6 episodes, three comics an episode, and we just finished Memphis, signed the deal, and it'll be live in March.
That's Tariq St. Patrick, real mama in it. Oh no.
She was on. I know. Yeah, she was on every goddamn thing, and she don't look a day over 30.
That's what's up. Man.
Meanwhile, my back big as fuck.
My back.
Thank y'all so much for watching, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, tapping in. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Happy New Year. All my guests, I love y'all. I appreciate it. I'll see a lot of y'all in a couple of days at the studio. But talk to y'all in a minute, guys. Y'all be good. Good night and God bless. Peace.
Peace. Boy,
Woo.
money.
And we out of that thing.